Since I was born, but now I am getting youth. Hakuna motangu, hakuna koga book.
Reports that say that something hasn't happened are always interesting to me, because as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
That's the infamous, if Donald Rumsfeld is ever going to be remembered for anything, he'll be remembered for that. It's a total nonsense what he just said, but it made infinite sense. Do you get? what that was the American Secretary of State, I think, under George Bush. There was what he said was a total nonsense, but at the same time, it made infinite sense. So how can that be? So there is Ayo doing as it always does. So this is how the platform, this is how the session should start, with a stream of you doing a welcome super chat. So thank you, Ayo, for that. So that's Donald Rumsfeld. There are no knowns. I will play it again. It's only 30 seconds. There are no knowns and there are knowns unknowns. There are things that you don't know, and there are things that you don't know you do not know. So all of that wrapped into some gobbledygook, but that makes infinite sense. Let him say it again in his own words, but listen carefully, because this is probably the most sense you will ever hear.
Reports that say that something hasn't happened are always interesting to me, because as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. But there are also unknown unknowns. The ones we don't know, we don't know.
If you were spoken. So good day, good to see you, and how are you? How are you? Oh God, this is not the time for my system to play up. So good day, good to see you. How are you? Good to have you here. Always a delight in your company. Never take it for granted that you will turn up. And it is always with gratitude that you are received when you do turn up. So why don't you pull up a seat, settle yourself in comfortably, and go with the flow, however it does go. So good to see you. Good to have you here. And how are you? So how are you? Hope you had a wonderful day. Hope you had a wonderful day. But before you kick in and settle into the session, the usual protocol. Just as soon as you're coming in, you should be clicking on the like button. One of these days, we'll make as many of you form the habit as possible. It's the engine room of anybody that does these things that we do. So that like button, which is just free of charge, is so important to the process. So click on it if you haven't done that. If you have no visceral reason not to do it, then you have every reason to do it. So click on like and make sure you're subscribed. So do those. And then haven't done both, click on this hyperlink that says StreamYard as well. So this hyperlink that says StreamYard, this is your invitation to the studio. Any and everybody is invited. It's an open microphone session. And your ticket to ride, your ticket to ride is the hyperlink that says StreamYard. So click on it, especially if you haven't done that before. We are forever canvassing for new voices, and you can be our new voice of the day. So click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard and come josh around with your friend, one man. So come mock around with your paddy man, one man. So do that. So click on like, click on subscribe, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. And then, of course, as ever, the invitation to buy your host cups of coffee, that's always ever ready. So that's the link right there. It's pinned to the comment section at the top. If you want to avail yourself of that, it's 3 easy process and away you go. So 3 easy process and away you go. 3 easy process and away you go. So now let's settle into it. What are we here to discuss today? So let's look at the headlines. So now we kick off with this. And there's a sense of deja vu, actually. Labour Party supporters attack Covenant Church pastor Poju Oyemade for asking Nigerians to support government, not minding who is playing. So there it is right there. It's that language of move on. And it will come. I think this pastor may have made a misstep asking the obedient. It's as though he doesn't have a full understanding of that culture. It made a misstep asking the obedience to move on. There was time for the country to move on. I don't think anybody should be saying that to the obedient space. So they will naturally move on when it's inevitable to do that. But until that inevitability comes, I don't think it is wise for anybody to invite them to move on. They would cut your head off. Labour Party supporters attack Covenant Church pastor Poju Oyemade for asking Nigerians to support government, not minding who is playing. So we spend time with that. we'll read that out, but of course, we already know how it goes. Who has not been through that cycle? Wale Soyinka and everybody in between. So the pelting of a pastor in the market square. So we have a look at that, see what's in play there. Now, there's a storyline. This is not at all anything Nigerian. So now there's a storyline that we have been tracking as a platform for the last few weeks, and it is the narrative of the recalibration of the global order. Do you understand? It's a narrative of the recalibration of the global order. So the status quo, of course, the Western hegemony that has held the world to ransom since the beginning of this phase of civilization. So now that hegemony is about to be challenged by the BRICS countries. So that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and I think South Africa is the S. So now those set of countries, they are now moving together to challenge the hegemony of the Western structure, and they are going to wrap that around an economy which will provide an alternative to the world. So what we're talking about is a move to de-dollarize the global space, to de-dollarize it, or at least to provide an alternative to the dollarization of the global space. So that space makes another significant move, and here it is: BRICS gold-backed common currency, a shock to global fiat money system, says economist, as Russia confirms launch in August. So yes, so BRICS, as I said, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So those form a power grid within the global structure, and that's a good 30% of the global economy right there in those 5-letter acronyms, in that 5-letter acronym. So that's a good 30, if not more percent of the global economy there. So there's a convergence now to take on the dollar, and the market response. BRICS gold-backed common currency, a shock to global fiat money system, says economist, as Russia confirms launch in August. So it looks as though now that BRICS currency about to be launched, even though people are saying that India is getting a cold feet, but nevertheless, it looks as though it's about to be launched. Maybe we should just get this one out of the way. So Benghazi, so this is being reported from Benghazi. This is from an international platform, by the way. This is from a UK investing media space. The BRICS country could soon launch a viable alternative to the US dollar, Russia confirms this week. What happened? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, a coalition of nations going by the moniker BRICS, is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold. Russian English news channel RT reports. So, maybe I shouldn't read this just yet, because this is something we have to really fully digest. But they are backing this currency with gold, which is quite a major step, because the American dollar is not backed by anything. It's just backed by fiat. It's a currency because everybody concedes its value, and that is where it gets its value from. But this now new BRICS currency is actually being backed by something of value, which makes it a stronger currency already, even before it's been launched, than the American dollar. So this is what's in play now. So we'll continue to monitor this place, because this is an you might think Peter Obi, Tinubu, this is what is really central to your life. Do you understand? This is really what will impact on your life the most. Never mind if Tinubu is there or Atiku or whoever. What will impact on your life the most is this move now being made. Let me take it from the top again. Benghazi, the BRICS country, could soon launch a viable alternative to the US dollar, Russia confirms this week. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, a coalition of nations going by the moniker BRICS, is set to introduce a new currency backed by gold. Russian English news channel RT reports. An official announcement in this regard will be made at the BLOCS Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, in August. And by the way, Tinubu is invited to that meeting. Nigeria is invited to that meeting. With the growing initiative, more and more countries are lining up to join the group, RT said. William Middlecup, a former journalist, tweeted that 40 countries have applied for BRICS membership. There you go, it is official. BRICS planning to introduce new trading currency backed by gold at August summit. Gold standard will be a great benefit to strengthening a single currency. And by the way, I had not pre-read this, but of course, category without equivocation, something that is backed with something with value is infinitely more valuable by something that is backed with concession. Because of course, the American dollar is fiat money, is money because of the concession that it is money. But now this new BRICS initiative is going to be backed by gold. So that's the distinction right there. And that is what will give it its value to supersede the dollar if care is not taken. BRICS is planning to introduce a new trading currency backed by gold at August summit. Gold standard will be a great benefit to strengthening a single currency. 41 countries have applied for BRICS membership. So that is a journalist then highlighting what's going on there. What is BRICS common currency? The BRICS nation announced in April that they plan to introduce a new currency with an objective of boosting intra-BRICS trade and also eliminating higher dollar conversion cost of international transactions. Opinions are divided over whether such a common currency would hurt the dollar's dominance. It is unlikely to replace the dollar and would exist only as an addition to the established dollar-based global monetary system. A report by the Official Monetary and Financial Institution Forum said it will be a regional initiative rather than the euro, it added. Why is it important? Such a BRICS common currency could be a shock to the global fiat money system, said economist Thorsten Perle in a series of tweets. A new international transaction unit backed by gold sounds like good money. And that is exactly what I just said. And it could be, first and foremost, a major challenge to the US dollar's hegemony, he said. But the devil is in the detail. The economist said for making the new currency as good as gold and a truly sound currency, it must be convertible to gold on demand. Whether this is what the BRICS country have in mind is a question. Using gold as the unit of account would be a game changer and leads to a sharp devaluation of many fiat currencies, including the BRICS fiat currencies. And when they're saying include, because of course, Brazil, Russia, China, India, South Africa, they are not going to jettison their own national currency. No, they are going to create this currency as mainly a currency for transaction to eliminate the dollar space in their transactional space. And however many countries want to join that financial system weakens the dollar even more. So it's a standalone up in the ether sort of a currency rather than a substitution for their national currency. So that's exactly what it is. Using gold as the unit of account will be a game changer and leads to a sharp devaluation of many fiat currencies, including the BRICS fiat currencies, vis-a-vis gold. The economist said it could make goods prices priced in fiat currency explode and cause a shock to the global fiat money system. Another option before the BRICS could be to set up a new bank for foreign trade, which acquires capital in the form of gold provided by the BRICS. So there it is. That's the challenge. Let me give you to the end. I think we're nearly at the end. Against this gold stock, the new bank could say grant financing loan to exporters, and issue the new currency. All BRICS exports will be sold against the new currency and or gold. So there it is right there. The de-dollarization of the global space. You heard it here first. So a storyline that we labored quite heavily yesterday was the Isheshe adherents versus the Muslims in Ilorin. So it was a story that we picked up about 2 days ago. But we touched base with it yesterday to see what the development is. And there was a group of Isheshe. Those are Isheshe means traditional. So there was a group of traditional worshippers that threw their weight behind the Oshun priestess that wanted to carry out festivities in Ilorin and was being prevented by the emir. So that was where we were yesterday. But events have since propelled even further today. Watch this. Look at this, rather. Ogun State government approves August the 20th public holiday for Yoruba Festival, Isheshe Day. So this is the Ogun State government now responding to the Emir of Ilorin. The Ogun State government, through the State House of Assembly on Tuesday, approved August the 20th to celebrate the Isheshe Day. This was contained in the resolution passed during plenary on Monday, moved by the House Majority Leader Yusuf Sharif, and it is quite pertinent to note the name of the person that moved it. Yusuf sounds very much a Muslim name. Yusuf Sharif, that's a Muslim name, by the way, but even he recoils from the excesses of the Emir of Ilorin. This was contained in the resolution passed during plenary on motion moved by the House Majority Leader Yusuf Sharif for the House to adopt the passage of the resolution, which was later seconded by Lukman Adeleye. He also stated that the state government would designate the day a work-free day. So a work-free day for Ifa worshiping in Ogun State. Adegoke Adeyanju, who sponsored the motion, stated that the day was intended to promote the state's people's custom and culture. Adeyanju read the amended resolution first, and Demola Shoneye seconded it. Other lawmakers who spoke in favor of the resolution stated that the Isheshe Traditional Day event would enhance Yoruba land's traditional legacy. The speaker, Olakunle Oluomo, stated in his remark that the cultural day would allow parents to pass on the culture and traditions of the kingdom to the younger generation. Isheshe is a Yoruba word that tells us what we inherited from our parents, and it also is a way to continually promote culture and tradition so they do not go into extinction. So, of course, native worship is very central to the Isheshe of the Yoruba space. So that is to the direction of the Emir of Kano right there. So to the direction of the Emir of Kano, and the next headline now is still a follow-on from a narrative that we were discussing just as earlier as yesterday. So to this, Ondo Governor Akeredolu extremely incapacitated APC chairman Adamu says. So yes, I'll save this till after the Kegite song. It's a short read, but there is a wider analysis on it on Arise TV, which I would like us to watch together. So there's a wider analysis of it on Arise TV. So we watch that together. So I'll do the readouts and then we listen to the analysis on Arise TV. So we do that, and then on from that we go on to this. Nigerian lawmakers fixing their own salaries is unconstitutional. So this is Baba Iyabo who refuses to just fade away. So this is Obasanjo now speaking truth to power. Some people will suggest Nigerian lawmakers fixing their own salaries is unconstitutional. This is Obasanjo. So similarly, the previous one, I'll do a quick readout of this space, and then we'll listen to the fullness of Obasanjo actually saying whatever it is that he was saying. So we do that on this now clip. So we do that on this now clip, and then we'll finally land on this clip, which is the headline of the session. So Tinubu can get Nigeria's economy to 1 trillion in 8 years. Tilewa Adebajo. So Tilewa Adebajo, very confident. But is 1 trillion naira even a low, no, $1 trillion, I should say, is $1 trillion even a low bar? Is really where the question is. So we have a listen to that, and then we react to it, and we see if whatever it is that the person has to say conforms with reason and logic. So conforms with reason and logic. So all of those. So yes, let's go back here. So yes, lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. The usual protocol: click on like, click on subscribe, hyperlink that says StreamYard, all of those things. Why is this thing showing on my screen? Where is it coming from? All right, click on the hyperlink that says StreamYard. We are really we're very keen to have new voices. So if you have not joined us before, then please avail this opportunity to join us, especially new voices we are canvassing so aggressively for. So new voices. Yes, let me take a micro mini break with the K guys, and then when I come back, we launch into the Labour Party space. But first, the K guys.
Water, only water, only water, where they see ma. Water, only water, where they see ma. Hapa o naido, hapa o naido. Hapa you don't come o. Hapa o naido. Oro kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùyé o. Ilé sọ́díyà kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Bobby Master kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Chief Latif kẹ̀kẹ́ rẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùrè o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹlẹ́mùdé. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ẹlẹ́mùdóde ojàre o. Eruku lẹ̀lẹ̀ Ghana ti dé ẹgbẹ́ bọ́dì o. Ọmọ ẹlẹ́yẹ ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Olúyẹ̀lá ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosoname ẹ̀yẹ o ó dilé o. Petrosodunke ẹ̀yẹ rẹ̀ ó dilé o. Ẹlẹ́kọ̀ ọ̀run mú ìní o. Àkùkọ ọ̀run mẹ́kọ̀. Ikú kò ní ríwà gbéṣe o.
There it is right there. Ikuku Neru Agweshe, may death have nothing to do with us. Can you imagine a prayer more important than that? So there it is, right there. Ikuku Neru Agweshe, amen to that on behalf of myself and you, my friends. So there it is. Ikuku Neru Agweshe, Ikuku Neru Agweshe, as guys, I bring you this. Labour Party supporters attack Covenant Church pastor Poju Oyemade for asking Nigerians to support government, not minding who is playing. Some supporters of the Labour Party's presidential candidate Peter Obi have come after Pastor Poju Oyemade, the senior pastor and founder of the Covenant Nation, over his recent comments urging Nigerians to work together for the country's growth regardless of party alliance. Oyemade on his Twitter page had written, "For everyone who loves Nigeria, you want the country to win, regardless who is playing. Just like you want your favorite team to win at the trophy, even if the coach did not field your preferred players, when your team scores, you are happy. Let's stay focused. It is all about the country winning." So I have not yet identified offense in whatever it is that is saying, a rallying call to stand behind the flag. The comment, however, did not go down well with some citizens who are ardent supporters of P2B. A Twitter user, Anti-Uzo, described Pastor Kojo's remark as demonic. So they started from the top. He said, so I can be he, Anti-Uzo. Well, I don't know. He said, laughing my ass off. Pastor Koju is a funny fellow. I just joined his live and someone called him out telling him to ask God for forgiveness for the demonic tweet he made yesterday, and boom, he turned off the comment. I hope someone took a screen shot. He knows what he's doing. Chameleon. Another user, TJK Ubaka, alleged that Pastor Koju's comment was born out of his political affiliation. He said, "These are men of dogs who eat off the rot or in the system. So I am not surprised when he starts to romanticize evil instead of chastising criminals on the pulpit." So there it is right there. And you did hear what the guy said. He said, for everyone who loves Nigeria, you want the country to win regardless of who is playing, just like you want your favorite team to win the trophy, even if the coach did not field your preferred players. When your team scores, you are happy. Let's stay focused. It's all about the country winning. So apparently it is not all about the country winning, certainly not from the reactions he's getting. Reacting to this situation, Twitter user Dr. Dipo Abojobi said Pastor Koju would not have expected the kind of treatment he received from Peter Obi's supporters because of his public endorsement of Obi's candidacy during the 2023 general election. So, so Aldi, I see you. Aldi, hop on. We've not heard your voice for a while. So there's a sense of deja vu to this thing. So now apparently this Pastor Koju had obviously supported, well, not obviously, but because I didn't know, but I had apparently supported Peter Obi in the 2023 elections. But the elections, it seems just a million miles ago, it's come and gone. A winner has been declared. And the guy says, rather than the country stay in abeyance, in this perpetual, now almost eternal flux, it is just time for people to move on. Pastor Koju would not have expected this kind of treatment he received from Peter Obi's supporters because of his public endorsement of Obi's candidacy during the 2023 elections. He wrote, Pastor Koju could not have foreseen that a man he helped to project to national politics would look away when he and this there it is again. So we now await, of course, Peter Obi's response to this, and we already know what the response will be because he has antecedents. The response, of course, radio silence. Pastor Koju could not have foreseen that a man he helped to project to national politics will look away when his thugs attack him repeatedly for daring to have an opinion on national or political issues, even when he tries to be diplomatic. Some of the miscreants are used to promote their businesses for years, even when they hardly ever promote ours. Moved mad over an election. Just do your thing and prepare for the worst. That's life. Harassed Pastor Paul Adefarasin harassed Pastor Adeboye. Continuous harassment and abuse of Pastor Koju. Atiku came second in the election, but his supporters in the Southwest, South, and North are not attacking pastors. there is a pattern to these attacks as well. Another Twitter user, Dr. Tokes, added. So there it is. So that's the tweet by the Poju fella, and then of course an avalanche of abuse. In a related incident, correspondents in April reported how Peter Obi subtly energized his supporters, otherwise known as Obedience, to continue their attack on Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka and other Nigerian critical of the movement. Obedience had criticized the celebrated playwright for saying the recent remarks made by Dati Ali Baba, vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, was fascistic, contained fascistic language. Baba Ahmed, so it goes on to give us the Baba Ahmed space, but we already know that. So a sense of deja vu in that space. So a sense of deja vu in that space. So a sense of deja vu in that space. Ogun State government, have we read this? I think we have read this. So we've read the Ogun State space. So let me then go to the Ondo State governor, who completely, in a vegetative state, but still clinging on to power. In a vegetative state, but still clinging on to power. Ondo Governor Akeredolu extremely incapacitated. APC chair Adamu says. So yeah, if Adamu is saying this, then he's subtly signaling to him to step down. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Abdullahi Adamu, has revealed that Governor Rotimi Akeredolu is in a state of extreme incapacity. So, so those are the words of his party chairman. Rotimi Akeredolu, of course, an APC man, he did not say that he was incapacitated, though, which will be even bad enough, but extreme incapacity. We regret to announce the extreme incapacity of the governor of Ondo State, who we understand has been hospitalized overseas. We wish and pray for him for a speedy recovery, the APC leader stated. Adamu spoke on Monday whilst chairing a meeting with APC chairpersons across the country. So that's an invitation to step down right there. Adamu at the meeting prayed for a speedy recovery of the hospitalized governor. Akeredolu applied for a 21-day medical leave on June the 7th and was expected to return on July the 6th. He did not show up, but wrote to the Ondo State House of Assembly extending his leave. Meanwhile, Mr. Adamu also commented on President Bola Tinubu's ministerial list and how things were shaping up. He stated that the president consulted extensively before putting out his ministerial list. The president has just started and is doing his extensive consultation before coming up with his nominees for ministers, Adamu said. So a lot of speculation around that space, and we've conjured a lot with the speculations. But staying with the Akeredolu storyline, let's pick it up from a Rice TV's perspective. Let's watch this.
Back in Abuja after a trip to Guinea-Bissau. Yes, the health condition of Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu, the governor of Ondo State, yes, he wrote to the House of Assembly, and when he embarked on his medical trip, he has now asked for an extension of that medical leave. Yes, but the chairman of the APC coming to declare that the governor is in a state of extreme incapacity. Well, I don't think that it's time yet to invoke Section 188 of the Constitution, as earlier stated by Ruben, because he's not permanently incapacitated. And if there's anybody to declare him so, it has to be a medical doctor. The last time I checked, Abdullahi Adamu.
Not a medical doctor, a medical panel.
A medical,
of 5.
A medical panel.
Of
yes.
5 persons
yes.
who are Nigerian doctors,
yes.
including his own physician.
So
that's what the Constitution
They have to be doctors. The last time I checked, Abdullahi Adamu, lawyer, politician. So, well, his declaration perhaps just to alert us that the governor, yes, is seriously ill. But we can only wish him speedy recovery. Pray God to grant him health and cure. But if otherwise happens, then of course the deputy governor is already acting as governor, as is the acting governor right now in the absence of the governor Rotimi Akeredolu, who is hospitalized outside the country. Now, the window story, 13.5 billion naira debt tussle for First Bank takes another turn as EcoBank accuses Otudeko of diverting assets, advises Holdco to reject Honeywell's share purchase, says investment aimed at frustrating enforcement of Supreme Court judgment. Yes, First Bank, the board of First Bank seems to be the billionaires' playground these days. Yes, 2 years ago, in 2019, of course, Tudeko was removed as the chairman.
All right, that's a different storyline, but that is it from Rice Davis' perspective. The invocation of a statute within the Nigerian constitution so debilitated is it, but it will cling on to power until they will have to pick his fingers off the levers of power one by one before he can let go. That's just the Nigerian way. And this also still the Nigerian way. Nigerian lawmakers fixing their own salary is unconstitutional. So this is Baba Yabo alarming to the space. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has accused federal lawmakers of acting unconstitutionally by deciding their own emoluments at the country's expense. Mr. Obasanjo, who spoke on Monday, noted that the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission should be responsible for prescribing the salaries of elected officials. So I have to say that this is news to me because I have always been of the lazy thought that it's actually that organization that determines the salaries of the parliamentarians. But apparently, they seem to decide their own salaries themselves. So hopefully that's not the case because that would be a real spectacle. Imagine that. Imagine if you had a job and they said, just tell us how much you want to be paid. This seems to be, but let's carry on. Let's carry on. Where were we? Hold on. Yes, let's take it from the top. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has accused federal lawmakers of acting unconstitutionally by deciding their own emoluments at the country's expense. Mr. Obasanjo, who spoke on Monday, noted that the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission should be responsible for prescribing the salaries of elected officials. All elected people by our constitution, their emoluments is supposed to be fixed by the Revenue Mobilization Commission, but our lawmakers set that aside and they make laws and put any emoluments for themselves, stated the former president. Even if that is constitutional, it is not moral. And of course, pardon me, even if that is constitutional, it is not moral. And of course, it is neither constitutional nor moral. The former Nigerian president said whilst delivering his speech at the 60th anniversary celebration of legal icon Afe Babalola held in Ado-Ekiti. The 1999 Constitution under paragraph 32 A to E, part 1 of the third schedule, the RMAFC is saddled with determining the remuneration appropriate for political office holders, such as legislators, presidents, vice presidents, governors, ministers, special advisors, amongst others, as mentioned in Section 84 and 124 of the legal documents. Mr. Obasanjo, however, said many aspects of the Nigerian Constitution, mostly the federal character, had been jettisoned, stressing it portends great danger for the country. He added, the point in Nigeria which I have seen and which I can attest to, is most of the people who are supposed to be operationalizing or managing or seeing the constitution and democracy move forward, they are actually the ones undermining the constitution. So that is Obasanjo's take there. So let's pick it up from here and let's hear him say it in his own words.
I will want to. I will want to get up because this is very important topic. And I want to thank Bishop Kuka for the points he made on these subjects, constitution and democracy. Well, he said he wants to beg you to keep quiet. Can I beg you? You see, you don't have to beg them. I can beg them. Thank you very much for keeping quiet. Bishop Kuka made very cogent and valid points. Constitutionalism, he said there's no perfect constitution. Democracy, it is a journey, it's not a destination. But constitutionalism, no matter what constitution you have, and democracy, no matter the system that you employ in your democratic way of life, if you do not have good governance, which must be the outcome of your constitutionalism and your democracy, then you are not going anywhere. And he made the point too, that then to get good governance, it will depend on those who are operating your constitution and who are managing your democracy. And that is very important, rationalizing your constitution and your democracy. And the point in Nigeria, which I have seen, which I can attest to, is most of the people who are supposed to be operationalizing or managing and seeing the constitution and democracy move forward, they are actually the ones who undermine constitution. And let me give an example here. All elected people by our constitution, their emolument is supposed to be fixed by revenue mobilization and commission. But our lawmakers set that aside and they make law and put any emolument for themselves. Even if that is constitutional, it is not moral. And of course, it is neither constitutional nor moral. Now, when you have a situation like that, then what do you say of constitution, which is breached by those who are supposed to be guardians of constitution and democracy? That is one. The thing again that is to me is very important. If there are so many other aspects of our constitution that are take federal character. We have Federal Character Commission. I don't know if Federal Character Commission has come out to find anybody guilty of not really keeping federal character. Have they all kept federal character? Of course, no. Of course, no. Now, the point is that if you leave the Constitution breached.
All right. He has landed on the point that I wanted him to land on. It's very sparse speaking for panelists today. We've only got Thomas and Solomon with us, so almost starting to be a short session. And Thomas is at work as well. So, Solomon, let me come to you, and then we just make it a brief one. Solomon, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, one man. Good evening.
Good to have you on board. What have you been looking at in the news today?
Yeah, this vessel that they said they bombarded, and the vessel that they bombarded.
Is it the one that was captured by Tompolo, or is it, because there seem to be two vessels captured now? But is it the one captured by Tompolo?
I think this one is another one because it was helicopter they used. It was the military, not because Tompolo is a private security company. So it was this other one is the Nigerian military that carried out the operation. I think this evening. Oh yeah.
Did they blow it up?
Yeah, they said they bombarded it in the headline.
So how come we're now seeing this and we did not see it before? What's the new? What do you think is going on in that space?
Yeah. It shows that this current administration, they are sitting up in this oil theft, in tackling this oil theft, and they know what they, as in they are taking control of everything, because the one of yesterday, that's 800,000 liters, that liter vessel that they captured yesterday. The thing has been in operation. They've seized it over 12 years or 10 years ago, and all of a sudden they found this thing back on is carrying out operation. So, and now this guy, they really, the way they cut this, they got it now is really something you should applaud them. They really tried, and the federal government.
This new approach, because they said that they will now start destroying these vessels as soon as they get them, they'll destroy them. Is this the way to go? Yeah, because like you said, that one they caught it 11 years ago and it's still there.
Yeah. I think it's a good one, because even with what government said yesterday, that is Tompolo, he was like, when they asked him, what advice do you have to give to these people? He said they should stop it. They should not even think about bringing in their ships to Nigeria, their vessels to Nigeria again to do anything, because they will regret it. Now it's no longer what he's trying to tell them. It's no longer a business for as usual. It's no longer business as usual, and it should not be so a business one should, as in they should venture in that kind of manner or in that kind of way they've been doing it. That is no longer going to be like that, and they are really working. And we have to applaud them, these guys, for real. Are you there?
All right, somebody is. I know I'm here. Somebody is saying destroying evidence on Facebook. I don't think you get what's going on, Michael. But that's exactly the direction that they should follow. Let me take you to the space, Solomon. Labour Party supporters attack Covenant Church pastor Koju Oyemade for asking Nigerians to support government, not minding who is playing. So, did you come across that news, and is it making any waves out there?
I've not seen this news. This is my first time of seeing it today, and even
Hold
though
on, hold on, Solomon. Okwiton TV. Make sure your mic is switched on. Because yeah, there you are. Okay, carry on, Solomon.
yeah, this is my first time of seeing this headline today, and even if he did so, he's just being realistic. As in, these are he's a man of God, like he's a pastor, and he understands that that as in, he knows what the kind of country he is in, and he knows that there is nothing that would happen about this Tinubu's this petition that may be taking effect, or saying that Tinubu would step down as being the president. It's not possible. So he's just trying to encourage the congregation to follow,
You know,
to
Solomon.
accept the government.
Solomon, I don't think he's even having a strong view on the petition or not. Okwiton TV, I was asking you. Sorry, Solomon. Okwiton TV, I was asking you to make sure your mic is switched on. So it was switched on. So if you want to come back, you can. Especially as you are going to be the new voice of the day. Okay, so now switch on your mic. Not your camera necessarily, but your mic. So make sure your mic is switched on so that your device will connect. So you'll be our new voice of the day if you're able to connect. But it wasn't really inviting them not to carry on. It was just asking them to shift the noise making just for a microsecond and let the country breathe, which is something that necessarily needs to happen.
Yeah. But it will just not leave the fact that this guy knows that the petition is not going to do anything. It's not going to change or make Tinubu step down, as in disqualify Tinubu, or say he's no longer the president of the country. No. So he's trying to encourage them, tell them move on, and everybody should be as a fit into this administration, and so that the country would move forward.
All right, stay steady, Solomon, because I want to ask you about this storyline as well. Because as you know, we've been tracking this storyline on this platform, the attempts to de-dollarize the global economy, or at least to provide a rival alternative portal for international transactions. BRICS gold-backed common currency, a shock to global fiat money system, says economist, as Russia confirms launch in August. So gather your thoughts on that. But Solomon, let me yes, you're still there. So let me actually let me welcome Okwiton TV to the platform, because of course you know how we like to welcome new voices. Let me actually let me welcome Okwiton TV to the platform, because of course you know how we like to welcome new voices. No, Okwiton TV, mute the YouTube or whatever it is that we're hearing. Yeah, mute some. Only have the studio on as where you are listening and interacting. Otherwise, we'll get double feed. Have you done that?
Got you.
All right,
thank you.
So say something. Your voice sounds somewhat familiar. Is this Babati? Is this another Babati? Are you another Babati?
I don't think so. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. I've been watching your show for a while now, and it's fascinating that at least we have one show online here that is all about facts. Because it's unfortunate how much our youths are badly educated right now. And so fact is an essential part of what can get us going. And thank you very much for keeping it real with facts.
All right, and thank you for continuing to monitor the space. Hopefully you are subscribed and all of the usual stuff. But what has been foremost in your thoughts in the news today? What's agitating your mind in terms of the Nigerian political space?
Actually, there will be a multiple issue in the news today that is fascinating, that I've been following. But I will specifically highlight the progress the military and made, retrieving stolen oil. Well, I'm not going to give all the credit to the military, knowing that there is this private sector that is also involved in discovering the stolen crude oil. It is.
Sorry, Okweton. Is this not an embarrassment to Buhari, though, who came in under a military CV and who came in under an anti-corruption CV? So if anybody was scouring the waterways to attack and arrest people, bandits that are coming to steal our oil, you'd expect that it would be Buhari, who was the military man with the military CV. So how come this did not happen under his administration? I can't get my words out today.
Yeah, I understand where you're going with that, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to add to Buhari's pain, because I think a man is down, and I don't want to be part of beating him down. You know, Buhari is not right there when it comes to actually being the best we've ever had as a leader. So I mean, I'm not reckoning with that guy. You know, he made a lot of mistake, a lot of error, and I think he reflects that he's not competent overall. You know, so I mean, don't forget that he actually has experience with petroleum in Nigeria as well. So you know, for him to have actually not been able to manage the problem very well shows that is not up there when it comes to competency. You know, but don't let us celebrate this with all excitement, because I think that the military actually came out full force to show us that they are working, because of the current allegations being slammed upon them by what's his name?
Asari
Dokubo. I think they're trying to prove to everyone that no, people like Asari are just full of mouth. You know, so until they're able to actually clean up all our waterways, to ensure that no stolen oil is actually being transferred from Nigeria to any other foreign country, until they are able to fully do that, I'm not getting carried away with this just one shot of a thing. You know, I think it's a progress, but I'm not getting carried away yet. You know, as far as Buhari is concerned, you know, the man is a write-off. If you want to call it embarrassment, that's fine. But I think there is worse name in the book than that.
You say Buhari is a write-off, but you know the cost of Buhari. The cost of Buhari is 8 years of your life and mine. Those 8 years we'll never get back. The 8 years that were wasted in those fallow years of Buhari, that's the real cost. Where are all of our lives stagnated as this guy just roughed up the country? But no, it's always surprised me in a country that has a navy that people can just stroll in and take oil. So that complicity that Asari Dokubo that he spoke about, a lot of people, they agree with him.
It is unfortunate, because I must say that I have my personal details about this because of my experience. Okay, this happened every day, and especially the Navy, they know all about it. I mean, Nigeria has the capabilities. Air Force and Navy is one of the best in the world. I mean, we can't compare it to the Western world for sure, but it's one of the best in the world, if not the best in Africa. You know, so don't tell me that they don't know that we're having this problem. They know. So while while our crude oil has been taken through the back door, they are the one who is allowing it to happen, because they have their own courts. Most of the admirals, most of the superior officers in the military, they know about it. You know, so Asari Dokubo is 100% on point. Even though I don't like the guy, I don't really appreciate the voice of people like that. You know, but he's talking from his own experience too, because don't forget that Asari Dokubo actually fought against this particular issue that we're talking about, even though he didn't go about the cause in the right way, but he did. You know, so definitely, our military has been a failure. The problem they created right from the military regime, it hasn't really gone away. You know, yes, they hand over the democracy, but then they are sabotaging the democracy behind the closed door. So it's not as if they really left us, alone. They've been causing problem here and there. So why I don't want to deliberate on past too much. Let's try and deliberate on the way forward. I think Tinubu is onto something here. And I just wish we all are patient. In the sense that I want everybody to pay attention, because a lot of people are missing in action in what is going on right now. If we really pay attention, we will be able to fight the corruption that is on display. But if we are completely go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say that I detect a bit of Yoruba nation in your voice. Am I right in saying that? Are you a Yoruba nationalist?
Of course, I am a Yoruba man from Ogun State.
But are you a Yoruba nationalist?
No.
Right.
I'm sorry to say, I'm a Nigerian through and through. I don't subscribe to because as far as I'm concerned, unless I don't know if you will allow me for a minute to digress a little bit. Because as far as I'm concerned, we are forgetting the fact that Nigeria got to where we are today because these three major tribes have worked together. It's an inconvenient marriage, but at least we are in a marriage. Just like any husband and wife will be continue for years. It doesn't mean that they are not fighting. It doesn't mean that they are not biting each other, but they go on doing it together for one reason or the other, maybe for the kids or something else. So Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, we are in it together for a very long run, and we are here today. So I don't believe in everybody going their own way.
Yeah, but what about the people who claim that they're being held against their will?
Who?
You know who?
Who? Okay, let me analyze briefly. How many states do we have in the East? I'm talking about the southeast of Nigeria. How many states?
It doesn't matter the amount of states.
One man, please let him do it, please. I know.
Please answer. I think we only have five states, right? Five. Okay. Okay. So because I just want to go to the depth of what we're gonna get as a result of the southeast of Nigeria going their way. Let's say we allow the southeast Nigeria to go today. Okay. With the 5 states, tell me what is going to be the assurance that we all have that these 5 states will be able to cooperate together. Because we are
they are bound by a common culture and a common language.
I think that's what we are getting wrong. Because with the few experience I have living in the East and people who I know live in the East, we're not really sure these 5 states will be able to cooperate fully.
Hold on a second. First of all, for them to leave the country, that means there will have been some kind of referendum that they vote for, right? So for them to leave the country. So if they can get to the point where they have the numbers, have them leave, now they become a country, right?
Yeah.
So whatever happened in their country is on them. They're not part of Nigeria anymore. So you can't be asking in Nigeria.
That is true.
So once again,
that is true.
There will be a referendum. So let them leave is not the point. Getting enough numbers on a referendum for them to leave that is where it lies. If you have enough numbers for you to leave a country, then as a country, that is your future for you to decide on your own because you're not part of Nigeria anymore.
That is true, my brother. But I would like to say something. In Yoruba land, we have a saying that says if your family member is actually eating bugs and you do nothing, when he started to run a problem like a stomach ache, then the problem is going to be for everybody. Why that is easy said, that once they're gone, they're gone. It's not as easy as it sounds. Nigeria is still going to continue to have problems from the same.
Okuton, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once they become a country, of course we will care, but it will be as a neighboring nation. Not as
let me just add this. Let me just add this. There's an impracticability to the Southeast being able to leave Nigeria as a because that's why I brought the map up. Unless Cross River, Abia, and River States and Delta, unless they are willing to embark on that journey with them, then it is impractical for them to leave Nigeria, because they will form a country, but then that country will be surrounded by the Nigerian state, which Cross River will still be a part of, Akwa Ibom still a part of, River still a part of. So how does that work? That they're a country within a country.
Thank you very much. One man went to mow. That's exactly where I was going initially, because I like you did just now, putting up the map. I've already, tried to go through these several times without number, and the mathematics doesn't just go right with me, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure Rivers is not going to, they're not going to go with them, and Delta is not going to do the same, And so it makes it more difficult the more we start talking about all these states that surrounds these 5 states. So it is a very, very complicated agitation. And I don't think everybody that is involved in this Biafra thing, they're not thinking it through. That's just my own, like my other brother says, we can all say it's a cup of tea, like nobody cares. But at the end of the day, when the trouble starts in the East, we will feel the brunt. It's just like we're talking about, okay, if there is a war in Cameroon, don't tell me Nigeria is going to feel all free that nothing is going on. If there is war in Benin Republic, Nigeria will feel it. Lagos State will feel it. So that's exactly what is going to happen, because these 5 states will run. They will run into a head block.
My fellow brother from Ogun State. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
What I said is that the dynamics changes. They are now a neighboring country. You will care, but it will not be as a region or as a fellow Nigerian anymore. It's what I'm saying. It's just the changing dynamics of how you address whatever will happen in that place. It's what I'm talking about. Not that you won't care necessarily, but the way you just address them will be the same way you address something going on in Benin Republic or a neighboring country. It just changes the dynamics of relationship.
If the Southeast secede from Nigeria, it'll be impossible for Nigeria to carry on as one country. It will have to organize. Yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be tough for us. I'm not just worried about them. As in Yoruba, Hausa, and other tribes, things will be really tough. Okay, this is what I keep saying, that we need each other. I really wish the Biafrans, or whatever it is that they want, really understand the fact that they do need us as much as we need them. It's been few years now. I was born into this whole process that we are working together. And it doesn't look to be there is any success elsewhere unless we are one. If I want to be tribal, I would say, okay, maybe the northern part is not actually bringing anything to the table, but that would be a lie. That would be a lie. I spent 1 year plus in the north. After my service, I got a job there. I have to stay in Kano for a while just to be able to experience the vicinity. And I do understand very well with what I saw in the north that we need them as well. That's what made Nigeria to be a great in Africa. So the moment we divide, it can never be the same. Now we can maybe some years later, the Yoruba part of Nigeria can now get their bearing and start finding their feet. The same thing with the north, but it's going to take years. It's going to take years, and a lot of people will suffer for it.
All right. Let me bring you back to our talking points, and let me sample your opinion on this headline on the screen. And then from there, I'll go on to Babati, but then you stay because we'll mix up the conversation as well. Ogun State government approves August the 20th public holiday for Yoruba Festival, Isheshe Day. So this particular strap line, it came into focus under the pronouncement of the Emir of Ilorin. So I'm sure you've been following that storyline.
Yes, definitely.
And it looks as though the Yoruba space is now responding now with because this is a pushback. No equivocation. Apologies, Thomas. this is a pushback against what the Emir of Ilorin is doing. So this is Ogun State asserting the dominion of Yoruba culture within their own sphere of influence. So the expectation now is that every Yoruba state should now adopt this initiative by Ogun State to declare, maybe follow on that date then, a Yoruba Day, which is an Isheshe Day, which by osmosis is an Ifa Day. So what are you then making of that bubbling controversy initiated by the Emir of Ilorin?
One man went mode. This is expected. I fully support this. The reason being that not just because he's a response to what happened in Ilorin. I know definitely one way or the other states will be making responses. But the reason why I support this is because I particularly have been clamoring for us to go back to who we are. I'm not talking about being a pagan, because I'm a Christian. But when I say going back to who we really are, to me, it means going back to our culture, our language, our way of life, the way we do things, the way we really understand. This Americanization of Nigeria, this trying to be suddenly European, is sickening. It's not helpful. You can count how many homes have kids that are not able to speak their local language, either Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba.
Hold on. Are your kids able to speak your local language?
Unfortunately, I would say,
look at this
I'm
guy.
trying all I could.
Look at this guy.
No, I will explain myself. I live in the United States, and it's very difficult. But I'm trying everything I could. Now, when they wake up in the morning, their first language to me has to be Yoruba. So they do all that, but I'm trying to go further. So I already make a rule in my house, agreeing to with my wife, that we want to be speaking Yoruba to them 24/7. So that way, the only English available for them will be in school or outside home, but in home is going to be Yoruba. We're changing things. I'm a part of changing it, and I'm doing my best. I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm doing my best. I really want us to be able to try.
But really, of what value is the Yoruba language to a child that was born in America, UK, wherever? Is his or her only experience of Nigeria will be that first visit that the parents take them to maybe once in their life? What value is the Yoruba language to what is to all intents and purposes an American kid? Are you just are you forcing your will on them?
Well, I mean, the way of life as a traditional African, so it will sound like a force to somebody who has, an European orientation, but it is not. And I would give you one good example why
I've never made the effort to force Yoruba on my kids. No, I think
I'm not actually forcing it on them either.
I think they don't need it. Yeah.
One man, you're not Yoruba, so what's the point? You're not Yoruba, so
I'm an Oyo man.
Allegedly, right? Allegedly.
I know he's a Yoruba, from the way he speaks. He's very easy to detect. But look, you don't have to force it on them anyway. The reason why I said this is because I'm not only experienced as a teacher in the elementary school. I have experience as a teacher in the high school, and I also experienced teaching in the college. So that gives me a peripheral of how to actually handle kids in America. I'm not talking about just home, in kids specifically in America. Besides, I have psychological degree just to be able to treat people, especially kids. I work with kids, in order to be able to redirect and help them, to be better. And one of the things that I discover about psychology lately is that they are gradually edging back to spirituality and culture, believing that these values, when taken away from a human being, actually messes that person's up. If you want to be a one without direction, Just take away your culture, your value, your language that is original with you. Take it away. You know, you can pretend to be an Englishman all you want, but one thing I can assure you is that the moment you carry this skin around here in the US or in the UK, you're never gonna be one of them. Never. And that is why the onus is upon us to let our kids know where they come from. Not only that, to actually accept where they come from. So that way, the value we brought into this country ourselves will be transferred to our kids. Let me tell you another value that we have. When we got here, we understand the rudiment, the rudimentary part of the US. We are able to cope. And that's why many of us are able to maybe buy houses, buy cars, and live well. But can you compare the way we're living with the African Americans or the Black Americans that we met here? No, because all their natural orientation has been taken away from them. They have been reduced by the way they subject them mentally. So I'm sorry for my brothers, I don't understand Yoruba, but what that means is that if a stream forget its source, it dries up. So what happened to the Black Americans here in this country is because they have no source. They dried up. They want to live a life of the white people. It's not possible. They want to live their own life. It's not possible. There's no room for them anywhere. And so that is why, for us, the reason why we are more recognized than them is because we have a value. We have a source. We know where we're coming from. And so when we get here, it radiates. An average white man, we find his feet cold to challenge you before he goes ahead and challenge a Black American. You know why? Because they know up there we have our values intact. You know, so this is why I think our kids should be trained in this manner too, or else we will have kids, generation coming soon, that will now start living the life just like these Black Americans who have no particular source of value, no source of strength. Do you ask yourself why some of them are now going back to Africa, now going back to Ghana, going back to Nigeria just to be able to relate back home? Do you ask why? Because they know.
There's a guy called Search for Uhuru on YouTube. He's been scouring the whole of Africa to find a home. Yeah. You
know, it's because they now recognize. Okay, now I will tell you. I don't know what country are you? Are you in Nigeria or you are in UK?
I mean, no, you're laughing.
Which
don't worry, it's in UK.
I came on.
Okay, because there is you're laughing in South Carolina. I don't know which one of it you are.
You're laughing in South Carolina.
There's a town. Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you. There's a town in South Africa called Oyotunji, and a very big village, I would say, and everybody there speaks Yoruba. But you know, it's a surprising thing. They are all Black Americans.
In South Africa or South?
No, in South Carolina. South Carolina, right here in the US. You know, the whole village speaks Yoruba. Not a very good Yoruba anyway, but they are trying. And they are all Black Americans. Why would they do that? Because they have that inclination that their value rises among the white people if they trace themselves back to Africa. So if the people we met here are having that kind of vibes, then why do we want to be far away from who we are? Now, this is not only applicable to Yoruba. I'm saying this because I'm a Yoruba man, but this is also applicable to Igbos, to Hausas, you know. And another example is this, my brother. Look at the Chinese. Look at the Indians. At least in the ranking in the US, we are ranking, I think, number 4 or 3, if I would say, as far as the most educated foreigners in the US. Nigerians is ranking number 3 or 4. I can't remember the statistics again very well.
Who ranks above you? The Indians and the Chinese?
The Indians and the Chinese. Do you know why? Because an average Indian kid or Chinese in America speaks their language. They speak their language. They dress their language. You know, so that is to tell you that, look, there's something about the value that we are missing Once we detach ourselves from it, we're completely out of touch. I'm really begging everybody, every one of us, try as much as you don't have to force your kids to actually learn these languages, but try. It doesn't take anything away from them. Let me give you another good experience of mine personally.
All right, give us that example, and then we go on to Babati. Carry on.
Thank you very much. In my home, as in my household where I grew up, my dad did not allow any one of us to speak English language. By the way, my dad has a first degree and second degree. He manages, he retires as a staff manager in one of the biggest insurance companies at that time. We call it British American Insurance Company. I don't know if any one of you are familiar with it. Now, what am I trying to get at? He refused to let any one of us speak English. Now, we have other counterparts, like family members, who speak English like day and night. And you know what they do? They make fun of us every now and then. Now, let me jump straight to the front of my story. Now, today, many of the other family who make fun of us while we were young, many of them are nowhere to be found. I'm sorry to say. Like, I read almost everything in this world. I have 3 master's degree and 2 different first degree. But my counterparts, my cousins from the other family who make fun of us when we were young, I can't see them. Many of them can't even finish high school, let alone going to the college. So what does that tell you? It tells you that the Yoruba language or the Igbo language that they think is our enemy is actually our friend. It is the only thing that we need to progress. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
All right, excellently put. So that's our new voice of the day. So that's our new voice of the day. But from our new voice of the day to one of our oldest voices on the platform, the Babate joins us. So BT, what are you looking at in the news today? It's somewhat of a slow news cycle,
right?
But we're following on from our narratives previously had at the HSA space and whatnot, and we're following up on the BRIC space as well, which refuses to go away. But what are you looking at in the news cycle today, BT?
Yeah, thank you, the great host of the platform, and everybody listening. First of all, Okuto's from Ogun State, and you can see the brilliance. Of course, it's from Ogun State. What do you expect? That's what we do, one man. That's what we do. We give you the best of the best on this platform from Ogun State. By the way, Okuto, what part of Ogun are you from, by the way?
I think it dropped. You didn't have to leave after you delivered, but yeah.
So, that's what we do. We're not from Oyo, we are from Ogun. We're just different, and they say the difference is clear, one man, right? Anyways, to the Sheshe space, I'm so happy about this news that because we've been fighting this for the last 32 years, one man. That August date, we've been fighting for that for 30, so it will be 33 years now. So for 33 years, they've been fighting for this, and which they didn't have to, but finally, I'm happy for this. Matter of fact, I need to bring Dr. Agba on your show. It's an internist in New York. It's one of our leading voices in in America here. I'm going to find time to bring him one of these days to just talk to us about and the modern way of looking at things. But yeah, that's beside the point. But this is a step in the right direction, one man. We should have the right.
So this is separate and outside of the Ilorin narrative. This is something that's been in the
it's just to celebrate like the whole thing, like collect like just the whole whatever you practice, Ifa or whatever, to recognize you, to recognize tradition, to recognize you in Ogun State. And this has been going on for the last 32 years. No, 1990 years. They've been trying to get this done for the last 33 years, one man. So, I'm happy that this
is this something peculiar to Ogun State, or is it Yoruba land wide?
The August 20 is actually started for Egba, but it kind of moved around. So it's just Ogun. That date is for Ogun State, but we can always adopt in other states in Yoruba land. There's nothing wrong with that in adopting that. So, but this primarily started in that date. I remember because this issue came up a few months ago. You know, I told you about the Association of Onisheguns and Babalawos. We're trying to get approval. So it's kind of like close to that date as well. So and they got their own approval, but we couldn't actually get this date approved. The closest they came was during I think Akitonde or when he was there as a military state governor, but that didn't come true because they had someone come after. But that is good to see this. People have nothing to be afraid of. I mean, we are all Yoruba people. We are Nigerian, so we have a right to, just like you do, and nobody is coming to destroy your church or your mosque or whatever. So we should all live and respect other people's tradition. So this is a step in the right direction, one man. The one man I wanted to add. You know, remember earlier I was talking about the runway lights.
Yes.
Can you believe that this morning as well, it was reported that the expansion medal in the newly built second Nigeria bridge was also stolen as well.
You know what? There's something that I've been following over the last 3-4 days. In Kano State, they continue to apprehend trucks that have been uprooting railway tracks and selling it as scrap metals.
So we are stealing railway lines, stealing runway lights, vandalizing bridges. I mean, these are safety concerns, right? These are human lives you're playing with here. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the punishment is. I don't know what the security apparatus are to safeguard this critical infrastructure. But we cannot allow this to go on. These are, you know, I did a little bit of physics in high school, and I know linear expansivity, when it gets hot, right, the bridge will expand, right? Those things are meant to cater for those things when it expands. Now, when you steal them off the bridge, I don't know what happens to the bridge when it gets hot then. You see what I'm saying? You're going to destroy a multi-million-dollar investment because of how much. So I don't understand this. I don't get it, woman. I honestly don't.
All right, to the headline on the screen now, Babati. So Ondo State Governor Akeredolu, we touched on it yesterday, and now the chairman of his party, he's saying this guy is just incapacitated. So on Arise Steve, is that bad now?
Remember when Ogbeni said that there was a governor that was poisoned by his girl? Is it this one that I was referring to?
Yes, it was.
One girlfriend poisoned the governor, but he didn't give us a name.
No, it was Akeredolu. Even his wife came out in the public space to tell us that he even mentioned the lady who had the portfolio in his cabinet. But he's debilitated to the point that he's almost vegetative. Wow. And this is what Adamo is telling us. And he has written to his state to say that he is now on an indefinite medical leave.
Oh man,
you know, but Arise TV was explaining to us that to be able to remove him, you know, you need so much of a consensus that is a near impossibility. So this guy now, he can stay in perpetuity in a London hospital bed and continue to call himself governor.
Wow, because I was reading earlier one of the comments of Chief Gomez talking about he has stage 4 cancer. So maybe they were talking about a different person, but
no, it's him.
It's him. That is quite unfortunate. I mean, this guy was Yoruba. I mean, core Yoruba. I mean, he embraced that tag. You know, he didn't shy away from his Yoruba-ness, if that makes any sense. And it was such a decent guy. I mean, but
you know, he calls himself Ogbeni. He's one of those people that you know. He really imbues in you that Yoruba.
It's quite unfortunate that this is happening. I wish him the best. I mean, I don't know. I mean, stage 4, if that's true, and if it's that bad that he can't even function, or man, that is not good. That is that's not good, one man. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully, they can find a way to. I mean, they will move on as a state, but prayers for his family and his loved ones.
But at what stage does it get to the point that he's forced to step down?
He should have stepped down months ago. Clearly, I mean, if this report is true, but you know how people hold on to power, But at this, no, you should have. Once you were diagnosed with something this severe, I mean, stage 4 is nothing to play with. That's it. There's nothing to. You should have stepped down months ago. Because but for some reason, he hasn't gotten that much national attention. Surprisingly, one man. Because it's something that you will see in Abuja if he was healthy, right? If he was okay, you will see him there. So it's missing in action, and nobody seems to. I mean, he hasn't gotten that much traction in the national headlines, right? I've not seen much of this report about him, so it's quite unfortunate. It's just sad. It's sad, woman. It's sad.
All right, brilliant. And to the BRICS space, I think you've been in this conversation in previous conversations about it. It's something that refuses to go away. BRICS gold-backed common currency, a shock to global fiat money system, says economist, as Russia confirms launch in August. So that currency now to rival the dollar, it looks as though it's something now that it is fast becoming a reality.
Well, Omar, let me ask you. If you had to put your money, like let's say bet your money, your life savings, would you invest in any BRIC currency right now?
I would, only because it's backed by gold. So
right.
It's more secure than the dollar if it's backed by gold, because
but it's not so much of that.
The dollar is not backed by anything. So
but it's much of how many countries can you get to sign up for this? And who will be in charge? Who will control the central bank of this? So the parameters have to be set as more countries jump into this. So until I see a clear sign or clear direction, or see the actual launch and watch it for a few years, then I would just stick with the dollar for now. Let me just keep it at that for now. But
it's not coming so much as a replacement, but as an alternative. That's another thing.
One man, you know how this thing goes. Nothing is in that field. There's nothing like alternative. It's a replacement. If it's better than dollar, you know how. America. Do you think America sees this as some kind of company as an alternative? No, this is to them. It's a replacement. So, and you know how America gets when it comes to anybody messing with the dollar, right? If they have to kill, destroy, fake a war, fake something, they will do that. If you know how they get that, they don't give a damn. For them to defend their currency, they will do anything and everything. So I hope this does not plunge us into some kind of third world war if care is not taken. And once again, America has to pick a side. Africa has to pick a side. We all know where SA is going. South Africa is going with them. They are very close to Russia, obviously. But the other part of Africa then have to choose a side. I don't know how long we will continue to stay neutral in this. I don't know how long, but at some point,
Nigeria will always go with America because
right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, most likely we will do that, but it's an opportunity to also leverage and get more goodies out of the West, if you know what I mean. You can bargain and get better deals from the West. If you don't want us to go with Russia, these are our terms and demand. It cannot just be for free. It comes with terms and conditions, right, one man? So until that happens, I would just leave it at that for that, one man.
A lot of people in the comment section, they are asking us to talk about this. Femi Otetola in talks with Lagos government for Nigeria's first ever PPP. Our power. Are you following that space?
I told you. I said it's going to be Lagos, Edo, Kaduna? They're going to be the first 3 states. This is what I've been talking about, one man. Actually, I'm ready for the year. We know who's working and who's not working.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. So, because I cannot speak for other regions, but I know my own region. If Lagos gets it, Ogun gets it. You know how that goes. If Ogun gets it, Oyo gets it. It's spread like that. That's what they're going to do.
Babati, sorry to interject. Like you said, it's only 3 states that have the capability to carry on this project. Data is just taking an advantage. It's just being an opportunist. Everything that is campaign negotiating for is already on ground. I think Tinubu actually fixed those things. So it's just
It's a
He
business.
just want to, yeah, he want to take advantage.
That's fine. So
It's not like it's a big now. Before the space, not like the big news. Before now, we already know that only 3 states in Nigeria have the capability to key into this Buhari sign up for the first 5 years, if not mistaken.
What piece? There should be at least 2 states in South Africa. I mean, Rivers can afford it.
No, none of them. None.
Really?
River to the, yeah, no. In Nigeria, just Lagos, Edo State, and Kano. That's all.
No, hold on. Rivers can afford it now. And by the way,
no, like they cannot afford it. No, I'm not saying they cannot afford it.
Sorry, what piece? Okwiton, switch on your mic because I'm not able to put you on the studio. But carry on here. Carry on.
I'm not saying they cannot afford it. They don't have the facility on ground yet, and it will take them like 4 to 5 years to build it. As I just said, before they can catch up, these 3 states have gone far. They don't have
they can copy the blueprint that they have in Lagos, Edo. And
even they copy it. You're going to bring people on got to build now. You don't just start building today and finish tomorrow now. It's a long-term project. You know, Asoja has done that long time when Obasanjo stopped it. Oshomole and Abaseki actually finished at those states. We have 2, Azuri and Oshomo plants. I don't know what kind of house, but they kind of have 2. So these plants cannot carry, like Lagos. I don't think Lagos can power Ogun. I think it's mainly for Lagos. Like Edo can power Delta, it's mainly for Edo. So I don't really know.
No, the reason why I said if you hold on a second, the reason I said Ogun is because if you remember earlier in this year they had the Dawn Commission meeting, right? And they discussed power amongst the power sharing, right? Power generation, and it came up with Oyo, Ogun, and Lagos. So they already have a framework going amongst those 3 states. They also talked about rail lines, by the way. But for this discussion, it's about just electricity. So they already have something going on between those 3 states. So that's the reason why.
Yes. But a point of correction. Let's put this clear. Not like any other state cannot distribute, but the problem they have, they cannot generate. It's only these 3 states can generate and distribute. Sure, you know.
Right, but that's my point. If you can generate, then you make deals with other states. Then you know.
Depend on their capacity they can generate anywhere, which I don't really know yet. But only those states can generate and distribute. But every other state, so that people don't get it wrong, almost every other state can distribute, but they don't have the generation this thing facility on ground. Yes.
Then they have to. But do you know my concern, which is good and bad? If you have these 3 states that let's say they say, okay, tomorrow morning, what is Edo, Lagos, and Kano now have 24 hours electricity. You know there will be a seismic shift of population, right? People will just start moving to those areas. That would be the
business.
What piece? Let me provide the backdrop to it. Let me just read it out quickly so we see what the plans actually are. Otedola Partners Lagos State AFDB to develop Nigeria's first PPP power transmission project. The chairman of Geregu Power PLC, Mr. Femi Otedola, has disclosed plans to develop a power transmission project in partnership with the Lagos State government. He disclosed this on his social media handle after a meeting with Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the president of African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina in Lagos. So there they are right there, the 3 of them. If the project comes to light, it will be the first of its kind in Nigeria, as hitherto private individuals were not allowed to transmit power in Nigeria. You know, this guy will be richer than Dangote if he pulls this off. The move comes on the heels of the recently signed Nigerian Electricity Act 2023 by President Bola Tinubu, which grants state governments and private individuals the license to transmit electricity in areas covered by the national grid. According to the provisions of the law, states, companies, and individuals can generate, transmit, and distribute electricity in the country. The law also demonopolized electricity regulation by transmission, such responsibility to the state government anytime they establish regulatory agencies. Nairametrics earlier reported the Lagos State government plans to fully take advantage of the new Electricity Act and establish a sustainable electricity market with a strong commercial framework. In another report, where's the $10 space? So there it is. Femi Otedola is a billionaire investor with business interest in oil and gas, power, banking, shipping, real estate, etc. He's the chairman of Geregu Power PLC, one of the major shareholders in First Bank. So this Femi Otedola is quite a curious one. I was seeing a headline earlier on when he was saying he was suicidal because of a failed business deal. But there it is, Geregu PLC, coming to a NEPA near you.
Yeah, but it's good. He's a smart man. He's just taking advantage of what's on ground already. Just that. But what I don't like is the same name, these same people that are coming up to take over the space. These people are controlling the space. I would be expecting a private bodies to take over that space, then sell shares to the private citizens so that everybody will be involved. But when Otedola take over this space, you know what will happen now. They will mobilize the place and control everything. They already have the funds, they have the connections, they have the resources. And like you said, they will end up being richer than the Dangote. But it's a good move in the right direction. One man. You can ask somebody else.
Can I bet you something? By this time next week, you would have heard that Lumelu, what is his name? That Lumelu or something. Yeah, he would have jumped on this deal because that guy seems to be chasing Otedola everywhere. He would have jumped on this deal and stolen it from Otedola.
Like I normally say, the Melu front for a lot of people. That people don't understand. Melu doesn't really have work like that. He front for people. He's like beyond the news. Yeah, as you say, he would have been there if his how would I say, the post sponsor him ask him to go front for them. He would have been there, yes, because he jumped at any opportunity, But the government have to push some regulations for this big men we have in Nigeria. Now they will back the country up. These are the things that happened during Ambassador Yaradua when Yaradua came in and started taking licenses back. They should balance it. There should be a balance. There should be a certain amount of share these people can buy. Otherwise, they will buy everything up and localize it, and then the country will still remain the same.
No. But if it's to the benefit of the country, why should they stop them? It's a free market enterprise.
Yeah, that's how it look like. It's a free market. That's how it look like. But in any system, people will take advantage of it. There's always a loophole in every system, one man. Since you're president, sorry, I'm listening. Yeah, continue.
No. I'm trying to understand what you're getting at. So, what this guy is, because Buhari opened up the space, so there's no shorting it anymore. It's documented in the constitution. So, what this guy is doing, Otedola, he has picked the cherry of the top of the Nigerian space. So he's moved very quickly to corner the Lagos State electricity space. That's why I'm saying it's going to be richer than Dangote. Because if he has exclusivity, which he seems to be perfecting, to electrify Lagos State, that's just, he's going to be one of the richest men in the world. What is the downside to that, though? What is the caution that you are infusing in the? What's wrong with that?
Yeah, the downside, one man, is that it's not bad for him to get the license for the electricity. But the bad part is that only him, a single individual, control a whole state. He becomes so powerful, and the monopoly belongs to him. This is supposed to favor everyone from the states. Now he has the cash resources, such people we want. But you should not give him the sole authority to control that space. That's just my take. That is the fear. Like Dangote.
No, but it's oversighted by the state regulators.
What if think about it like MTN. Remember when we first got the approval for GSM, the first person to jump in was MTN, right? That was the first.
Yeah.
Then you had other people coming. So it's not like you have exclusive right. Remember, it's a PPP project. It's not just him only.
Yeah, true.
So that kind of, you have leverage to kind of manage that situation, and you have other players coming to that sector as well. It gives government flexibility. So I wouldn't really monopoly.
Yeah, you should pardon my fear, from what we've seen from the past, like Dangote, cement, and sugar. When the guy took over when Dangote took over the sugar, cement, short rice, everything. Now Dangote controls everything. and now see what the country is facing.
But
you
but
cannot
but, but you have Edo, you have Lagos, you have Kano, and
but
Delta. But we need
yeah,
more states to come into this. We need more states.
Most have to do. But my fear is that this Edo, Lagos, and Kaduna is almost owned by single individual. If you understand what I'm trying to say, Babati, just so single person that is owning it.
No,
Now it will.
Oh no, they are the head of the snake, but they're bringing investors. It's not going to be the one part of course. It's going to get maybe a GE or a CMS to come in and partner with him. It will be the head of like a chairman of the board, but those technical stuff will be expert that he's going to bring into the country to help him fulfill that dream. So it's not going to be just him solely doing it. Remember, once again, it's a PP project.
Like you said, like we don't know the full details yet, but it's a good move. It's a good move, but please let the government put some let me borrow some Thomas word caveat on it so that these people don't kill us with monopoly. You know, because right now Nigeria's not really regulated yet.
Oh God. But you know what will happen in Indo, right? Get ready to receive guests though. People will be coming to your state very soon to come and live and enjoy power now.
Yeah. People will come. It's good for investment, business investment. You know, a lot of this oil company in Delta, in Anambra, Port Harcourt, Rivers. This will move down because it's closer to them. You know, just like in Lagos now, like you said, Ogun, Oyo, Ibadan, Oshun will follow up to that side. You understand? At least. My happiness is that it will give these 3 states 5 years ahead. You understand? Before that state catches up, before they build their own and start distributing. Babati, you understand?
Yeah, I mean, if you have a serious government, you can catch up. Trust me. If you have a very serious, focused governor, they can make up for loss. And like, listen, we want this done in 4 or 5 years. I mean, if they're really serious. So I'm so happy for this work. Do you know what I'm seeing here? We start seeing who is working and who is not working. We know the lazy girl, who is not lazy. Then you can't blame Abuja anymore for not having power. What please? You can't blame Buhari, you can't blame Tinubu for not having power because you say
we cannot. Well, what we face now is higher tariff. But if you are getting the lights, constant energy,
you get the just on that higher tariff. Sorry, hold on now, Dewale. Just on that higher tariff, the economics of it actually works in favor of the people more. If they're paying higher tariff, but they're getting 24-hour electricity, so that removes that 5,000 naira a day that you're using to buy petrol for your generator. That removes that, and then that also puts predictability to your life. So you can bulk buy food and store it in storage because you know the electricity supports it. So if they get electricity working perfectly, reasonably, decently, predictably within Nigeria, especially in Lagos, that's almost like that's a 40,000 naira gift to the average household right there. So no matter how high the tariff is,
your cost of production goes down drastically. Like Oman is saying, you're not buying that much, fuel every time. So yeah, it's a connect positive in a way, one man.
Our food industry, our food sector will benefit a lot. You know, Nigeria, we live on perishable food, a day-to-day food. So if we have electricity to store this food, preserve them, then food prices will go down, like all this fish, tomatoes, onions. We cannot really preserve all this food because we don't have like to preserve all these things. Our chicken, poultry, we need electricity, So all this eggs price, all those perishable will come down, which will be good for us. But I hope they really do it well. One man, I got to to you, and you can interject. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I think it's a good development. I mean, I was while Babati was talking about you were talking about the partnership, and I was thinking, who else would have partnered with the Lagos State if not the son of the soil? So, I mean, I would be more than surprised if Dangote was given that, or Tony Edumelu. I think Tony Edumelu also has a power generating company as well. But at least giving it to the son of the soil. Apart from that, too, it's a good development, but speaking to that space of monopolizing the market, The same federal government that allows states to have power and control to be able to generate and transmit. They can also find solution legislatively towards company monopolizing the market. But like the one man said, the benefit of it will not come right away, but it tends to be kind of like more of a domino effect where you have it trickle down, and the consumer will benefit more, even though they are paying through their nose, and over the time they'll be able to at least if they have a value gain for any amount they are spending, and also reduce the cost of buying to buy petrol, buy others, just to. So yes, and turn out of it.
The fight between the fight that Elumelu and Otedola had over Transcorp just a few months ago. It's all wrapped around this electricity space, because they both knew that the thrust of the Tinubu administration will be to electrify the country and get the economy going. And everything that Tinubu is doing or is intending to do is all wrapped around the narrative of being able to electrify the country. And they were fighting then over that Transcorp, only really because that company has a huge electricity portfolio, Dewale.
Right now, and those who are very close to the proximity of power are going to benefit from it. So, and their routine into that sector shows that they already understood the direction the federal government is going, and it's the local consumption. Not that, even though still exporting into a different country after some time, but where the Nigerian going to benefit. But of course, you trust the investors. The investors always. You see, that's why government has to have a very sound, practical policies that can be measured, policies that can, over the time, can be, audited and see if it's actually measured up. And investors always look at those indices before they make their move. And if watch move over the time, they knew the kind of politician that he is. Not somebody that will put set a motion and back off from the policy and all that, because I've done their due diligence before they roll it out. And if it's going to backfire, you would know by their own analysis. I'm talking about investing now. So yes, the likes of Tony's and they already knew that.
One man.
No, they were struggling to hear you. Let's hear from Babati.
One man, do you think that Femi being a son of the soil in Lagos factored into that decision?
I think his relationship. Are you talking about? Are we going Yoruba? Is that really where we're going?
Being a Lagosian, don't let me go there because I don't want to. You say we should be sensitive. I've kind of censored myself on some things. But let's just say is Lagosian born bred. So do you think that kind of factored it? Like we want one of our sons to own this thing as opposed to someone that might not be from Lagos?
No, that gives him an advantage, surely, right. in terms of being able to access the opportunity. And by the way, it's a PPP opportunity, of course. Just to what Peace was saying, his concerns, it's a PPP opportunity. So it's a public-private partnership. So the government still has a leverage in that space somewhat. So,
because this is kind of like once again, like a backstabbing the Transcorp thing, because that's the reason why he bought shares in them in the first place, because he knew what he, like you said, he knew where he was going. So he bought a share in them, they forced him out with the deal, then he went behind them and made this deal. So he's still back. That Elumelu thing, in fact, is not over. Forget what the friendly that they just lied to themselves. This is to them. I'm sure Elumelu will see this as a stab in the back, because he just said, "Man, F Transcorp, I'm going to go to the source directly." That's pretty much what he did.
No, he's looking for that stab back. You can be sure of that.
Yeah, they're going to keep. And guess what? It is good for the consumer. If they are competing like this, it's good for us. You build more plants, you become competitive. It's all what we want as a country. They build more plants. That one is building 965. You build 1,000. That one builds 400. Before we know it, we are already at 100,000. So that competition is a healthy.
But has Otedola not taken victory with this move now?
It's not over yet. It's not over.
If he owns electricity in Lagos, what else can Lumelu get that would come close?
Because it will now boil down to how much funds can you bring to invest in generating distribution. Now, Lumelu is a bank, it's in the banking sector. So it can raise funds, right? So he can buy shares in his company to get back at him, buy back more shares in his company, then be part of, like, I want to buy 10% in Femi's company as a friend. Then you get a seat on the board, then you play the game. Is the same game he played with you in Transcorp that forced you to give him 2 seats in your own Transcorp. Play the same game with him too. You buy shares in his company because this has to be a public. Femi doesn't have that kind of money, so eventually it's going to be a public PL. Yeah.
The same thing he did with the Transcorp issue, the same thing he did in the UBA there.
Right. So play the same game back, but I'm saying, Diwali, it is good for the consumer, right? It is good for us.
Yeah, but as a matter of fact, the other investors are the ones that I'm actually worried about. Because if that is the case, it has a tendency of monopolizing any sector that it belongs. When he got to UPA, he bought back every single shares of those smaller.
He made money. He made money.
I mean, in the business world, you can see that as the fast move. But some of those smaller investors, today, some of them, they forgive him, and they believe that Akim must have, be the one that enables him or give him that leverage, because once Akim left, it became Bukwero.
Yeah, but because he forced Elumelu to float more shares to be competitive, that made the value of the smaller people, like they had to buy more stocks to leverage that. I get the point. But I'm saying in the power sector, I prefer the big boys fighting for position than having little ones come around. They are the ones that can raise funds. The more they fight, they buy back more shares, they expand, they put it open. I can even buy shares just to keep this fight going. Is good for, once again, one man, is good for the consumer, and I'm so happy about this. And then fight it that they build more power plants, become competitive, and the people enjoy it. So it's good for Lagosians. It's good.
You think that would drive the price down in terms of
no,
the consumer?
Initially, no.
But this is PPP. It will affect price. Government will not sit back and watch it. It's for the bottom line, but at the end of the day, government is still going to try to regulate the sector.
Let me clarify one man. Is it going to be involved in all the 3 phases, or is it just so it's going to be generation, distribution, and I'm trying to clarify here.
Transmission, yes. From the reading of it, it's going to be involved in the 3 phases.
That means it has to float the company as a public company, because people have to buy shares. I don't think it has the money to nah.
I don't think it should be allowed to distribute. Transmission, generate and transmission, yes, but distribution should be left for, break it down to other smaller companies.
They were for those useless discos and ciscos, those useless ones.
It's what you sell to them. Look at the way it is here in America.
No. Find somebody else. Those discos and ciscos that they cannot do. No.
I disagree with you as well, Dewale, somewhat, because for this thing to work efficiently, then all of the processes is better if it's in-house. So if one company handles the generation, transmission, and distribution, they can synergize better than having different companies handling different processes in the field. That's just an additional layer of bureaucracy, isn't it?
I believe that could become monopolistic in nature, where only a single person controls the space of generating, transmission, and distribution. To me, I don't think how that is going to expand that sector.
Is the chairman of the board. It will have majority shares, but not sole control. You remember, Lagos will also have sit on the board of that company. So they have a.
I mean, look at the way it is done here. You have one single company that is generating and also involved in a transmission. However, you have another, even up to the retailing company that is,
you fell for the trick in America. Let me tell you one secret in America.
I mean, that is the standard for the open market.
Wait, America. Those small companies, they are the same company, just different names. Trust me. They are the same company. It's just gimmick.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you, it's all the same company. It's not like it's a long story, but trust me, it's like T-Mobile will say, "Oh, we don't compromise, but you can have cricket." Who owns cricket? Is it T-Mobile now? Who owns Boost?
By the way, I'm looking for Babalawo. The company that I'm using right now, I need to put the cost on there. The cost of electricity right now is like low.
Can you go look up?
But is that not the result? Is that not the spill out of the Russia-Ukrainian war? If you are looking for
no, not really. When it gets for real, I'm actually looking for real. Because
let me give you a
once you get to this, go ahead. Summertime is always not a joke.
I know you live in Texas. Do you have Reliant Energy? Reliant, Diwali?
I was using them before, but when I relocated, when I moved, they were not servicing my area. So
here's the trick. You will go back to them, right? So for the first 3 months that you are with them, you will use the least amount of your whatever you are using. Don't use any. Just try to lower everything for 3 months.
I don't even use 1,000 kilowatts.
Hold on, Dewale. Hold on, BT. Let's bring OVA into the conversation. So now, OVA, this PPP deal by Otedola with the Lagos State government. Firstly, it's a money move. But secondly, it's a rivalry move because what is fast evolving is some sort of atrocious relationship between Otedola and Elumelu, who stabbed him in the back in some energy power generation deal. But he's now presenting the pearl, the jewel in the crown of the Nigerian space as his now latest prize. So what are you making of this deal, Ovie?
The deal or the characters?
I think the whole thing, yeah.
I mean, it's one for once they are all they're Nigerians. That's a good part of it, right? I mean, you can disagree with the policy from the government perspective, but the fact that they are Nigerians and these are people you can say pretty much 100% of their investment in Nigeria. So it's a good thing. It's a healthy rivalry. And it's a welcome development. So hopefully, the Nigerian people will benefit, but I don't know. I doubt. So, but it's a big market if as far as Nigeria is concerned. Talking about the largest share, I understand you guys are going back and forth between these two business starters. I think as at now, Elumele has the upper hand. I think Elumele is the single largest in terms of West Africa is concerned. It has more capacity to produce energy power than any other company so far. So, but overall, it's I mean, I can't hate. It's a good thing.
You know what you said that they are Nigerians. Hold on. Yeah, so what you said that they're Nigerians, you know, that's quite a salient point because when Dangote was opening his refinery, a lot of criticism back and forth, a lot of compliments, a lot of criticism, and somebody was making the commentary that look, you have to understand that this guy, what is done is actually a national service. He could have taken that refinery and he could have located it anywhere in Africa. And the president will drop his trousers and ask him to insert just for the benefit of. So the fact, because these are dollar billionaires, they can move their money anywhere and still profit. So the fact that they bring their money home to invest in the country is something that sometimes we take for granted, which we shouldn't. If Otedola goes to Sierra Leone and tells them he wants to give them electricity, what do you think they'll do? They will make him the president. That's a key point, that there are Nigerians investing in the Nigerian space.
Yes, and I think even Otedola also has shares. I think he has about 5% shares in Transcorp. So either way, they go hand in hand. And I think you can see that in politics too, between Tinubu and Atiku. Whether we like it or not, these people are twin brothers, right? They roll together from day one. So I think that's what we are seeing here. We just hope they continue. We wish them good life. They will benefit a lot from the Bola Tinubu government. I think you earlier pointed out that this is a free market. Yes.
Okay. How are you, my brother?
Yes. Pretty good.
Good. Let's just digress a bit. One man, if you don't mind, please. Do you think Atiku and Bola Tinubu are really fighting each other? About all these politics, everything. What do you think?
No. I mean, these are they said in politics they are not permanent friends or not permanent enemies. They cannot fight now. How are they going? How they won't fight? I mean, however you want to go hard and damage one, you are in a way you are damaging yourself, because I think business-wise they are also linked together. So at this point, in the political space, I think they control the largest share in terms of influence. So I don't think
I think
whatever they are doing is just for the optics.
They know the game that they are playing with each other. I think the Labour is the one that is just oblivious to that fact. But those two know how the game is played, and they are comfortable with the outcome either way. But I think Obi.
I wouldn't be surprised if come 2031, Tinubu will hand over to Atiku.
I think
I will not be surprised.
No.
Hey, for real, I would not be surprised too. Obey you.
What is Abba? What is Abba? I don't understand.
You're right.
Hold on.
You're right.
Come 2021, 2027, you mean?
31.
Oh, 31. No.
How old will he be then? How old will Atiku be at that point?
I think Atiku is out of play.
I think
he will be an ancestor.
This is a test, right? I use Biden as a test. If Biden secures a second time, I see no reason why Atiku will not be around. And if he's around and he's still interested, I see why he will be the man to beat. But if Biden no succeed, he'll be able to convince Biden to either step aside because of his head and all that, then Nigerian and every other person can fix on that. But I mean, Tinubu scale through. What can be 8 years from now? You think physically Atiku will be worse than the way Baba deceived us?
I've got three names. I've got three names that are Tinubu likely to hand over to in 2031, and I'll be surprised if it's outside of those three names. Either Kashim Shettima or Kwakwanso or El Rufai. I cannot say outside those three names.
Why do you miss why you miss NSA? Ribadu, they don't test them before now. You don't forget.
Ribadu is not. Is it strong enough?
He ran him before. He ran in 2007. Don't forget that. Tinubu tested him.
Yeah. And how did he do? He doesn't have national appeal now.
He's not going to win.
Unless it builds his name on that. It's not going to win.
You're talking about trust here. This guy would rather give it to as far as I'm concerned. I think the way I'm saying it is, if you put him, Erufai, and who again did you mention? Okay, Kumpo. So who is he going to trust among these people? Of course, he will trust Ribadu more.
No, I think he would trust. I think he would trust Shettima more.
Okay, now look at the national appeal between Shettima and Ribadu. Who's going to have the national appeal?
Shettima has 8 years to build a profile as the vice president. You know, Shettima is a very likable guy. You know, people like him.
Compared to Ribadu,
Ribadu is just non-plus now. Who do you think has more national popularity? Ribadu?
No, Ribadu is more. The outlook of Ribadu is more calmer than Shettima is a little bit bombastic, kind of in your face, kind of.
His only problem with his acceptance from maybe the Northwest. he might have a problem from that angle, and they would rather prefer Shetima than him from the northwest. But overall, nationally, come to the south and all that, I think it will be easier. It will be easier to say Ribadu
I think Yoruba land will want to Shetima more because he has the sort of wit and humor that we like, and that rapid brain. Is more intelligent, by the way, than Ribadu by far. Even more intelligent than El Rufai, Shetima.
I don't see. Wait,
I think you
more
intelligent.
You know why you are saying this? You know why you are saying this? If you follow Nigerian politics, we're dealing Obasanjo. This guy was the star. Ribadu from nowhere. He was just an ordinary police officer. He became the star of that administration. Right? That he literally built
but because Obasanjo allowed and give them political backing. He wasn't the only one shining. I mean, Akoyele was there.
But you can say he singularly built the FCC.
See,
from nowhere,
you can only shine when you have political backing, and when there's a political will, you can go any length. But him, now that he has become a politician, now he has to test his own popularity, his own appeal, and see how far he can go. Not just, riding on the back of someone who has the power. That's what one man is trying to say. But by and large, Ribadu can approve, his own anytime. But, politically, I'm not sure. That's what I'm not sure.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Bola Tinubu, if everything is going well for them health-wise, say he's still very much around, like know everything that is going on just as it is now in 8 years' time. He will not be like a Buhari. He will have influence on who is going to succeed him. The guy will do it just like Obasanjo. It might not be in our face like Obasanjo did, but this guy will do everything to make sure whoever succeeds him, he single-handedly or to some extent he has the larger say. That's what Tinubu. The guy no go be now. You are dealing with a politician now, no be before.
And in terms of legacy, because after what we have experienced with Buhari, I don't think I don't think any. We have to be careful who we pick from the north the next time. It has to be a modernistic, future-looking sort of a person, not a conservative oligarch like we had with Buhari. So it has to be somebody that is contemporaneous, modern in thought, liberal in view, but still holding on to his religion and culture. So all of that encapsulated in somebody like Shetima. But I've never really considered Ribadu as a potential anything. In fact, I was surprised they made him the NSA. I suspect he will last 2 years there. I don't think he has what it takes.
Yeah, okay. But no, I think the North generally they would like to go with Shetima more, right? For the obvious reason. But I would just more concerned about nationally now because it's not going to be. I think Buhari will be the last leader who will have that is sectional popularity shoot him to power in a way you can say like that, right? Putting without a Bola Tinubu effect and all that. I don't think we'll see another politician like that again. The next politician we are going to is somebody that will be at least to some extent generally acceptable.
Ovi, are you forgetting El-Rufai?
Do you think El Rufai is out of play with his extreme?
No, it's ambitious. That's what I'm saying. It's ambitious. He wants that seat.
I think yes.
Sorry, do you not think he has played himself out with that religious extremist views that he expressed just recently?
No, I don't think so. Because I think he's doing that because the point here, I know in the next 8 years, is now the North turn, right? Just as preferred the South side. So it is their turn. Now, he is first thing first, you have to win. He has to win the North over. Every other part of the country now will do it later. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that the North will be at peace with Shetima more than even the El-Rufai, with among the two of them. El-Rufai will be, he's going to work. He's working hard. He don't start at the same for everywhere now. He's making move. He's going to work hard, even more harder than Tinubu work if he if luck they inside at all, he has to work harder than Tinubu. And I don't know where he has.
If El Rufai doesn't get if he doesn't get a portfolio, he's finished. If he doesn't get a portfolio with and I doubt if he will.
No, I would say if he accept a portfolio, he's finished. I would say if he rather send somebody to send any of his boys to take it. But Tinubu don't say standard, man. You think Bola Tinubu staying out of pretty much any position for that since he get out of Lagos? No advantage, no day. There's little you can hold him down on. You can only hold him down to 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. There's an advantage to that. So if you collect portfolio, yeah, it might be a person like him is not necessarily looking for name recognition. Now, to some extent, is known, right? But he just need to convince people that we put money into his campaign. Say yes, I can do it.
You just said now that sectional politics is out of play, and I somewhat agree, especially with the reforms in the electoral. We don't start tightening up our processes now. Really, whoever emerges, especially in 2027, by the way, Tinubu will rig himself back in. But whoever emerges in 2031, that will be a good reflection of the will of the people. And El Rufai does not have appeal in the South. They don't like him. They don't trust him.
The same thing is not the. I don't know how he's going to do it because this. I mean, we might be cheering me on now for the heroic performance he put on for Bola Tinubu to emerge, but he has to do work. He has to go into double shifts to make sure the people that he step on to while doing that too, he fix it back. So it's not going to be. He understand though, so I will not write him out. He understand what is ahead of him. He know what to do, but whether he has what it takes is what I don't know. But if Bola Tinubu is with him all the way, fine. Whoever the president is with all the way will be a little bit more easier for that person because, as I said, Tinubu na politician. As you said, it's not about stealing money for him at this point. It's about solidifying his empire or whatever that it is. It's about power now, and he don't get that. So how long can he keep that power is what he's going to do. If God give him good life, we want to make sure may they know who your passenger himself. That is why he's not going to go after him physically, but he will want to outdo him. He want to get that international recognition, that respect. That's I think that is what it is for Tinubu as far as all this is concerned. So if he has the opportunity to influence who will take over after him, the guy will jump into him. In fact, he will work hard to make sure that's what happens. Unless nature take his course or it's not necessarily here with us. But
Tinubu is here with us for the next 8 years. So I don't. I think we all know that anyway. Tinubu is here with us for the next. He's not going to die and he's not going to be voted out.
But again, he go. Not that he go hard. He has to. No, he cannot impose anybody on the North Shore. That I know. But again, that is not who he is in a way. I don't think that's who he is. He believe in negotiation, right?
It's a consensus politician.
Exactly. So it's not that we influence anybody on the North. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But if we try and make sure he have a say, if he's allowed anyway, because it's gonna be tough. Just like 2023 was tough for the southern politician. It was tough, right? From the primaries between Obi, it was tough. So it's going to be that tough to come 2031. It's going to be really. It's going to be in a battle. I don't know what is going to happen, but it's going to be a battle. But may God give us life. But again, few people, as far as the Bola Tinubu administration is concerned, with these men are going to triple, not just double, triple their wealth. And we are going to, even the Dangotes, everybody, there are a lot of individuals are going to triple their wealth. That's what I see. But
all right.
I don't know how that is going to affect the general everyday Nigerian. But that's where we are here to find out.
All right. Let me answer that because the headline for this session, you've actually segued into that. Let me play you this. It's a 10-minute clip, but it's well worth watching. Watch this.
President Tinubu has established a policy advisory council to support the delivery of sustainable, inclusive economic growth. We've got some aspirations as far as the next 8 years are concerned, doubling Nigeria's economy to $1 trillion, 7% annual GDP, and a whole lot of others. Is this attainable? We have, of course, with us Mr. Tilewa Adebajo, CEO of the CFG Advisory Group, joining us to discuss further dollars, 7% annual GDP.
All right. Before we get into the analysis of whatever that talking head is about to tell us, so this now constitutes what is an action plan for the Tinubu administration. So the core ambition, outside of all of the auxiliaries, the core ambition of the Tinubu administration is to double the Nigerian economy to $1 trillion, 7% annual GDP growth, lift 100 million. I wonder why they all said this. Buhari made that promise, and rather than lift anybody, he plummeted them even into more poverty. Lift 100 million people out of poverty, create 50 million new jobs, deliver sustained inclusive growth. Doubling the Nigerian economy to $1 trillion, you will say that is a lofty ambition, but I'm even saying that this is an underestimation of what is achievable within that 8-year space. But what do you make of that ambition to double the economy within 8 years?
I mean, I can only wait to see it happen. I don't know how. I won't put my money on that, right? The only thing the only sector, about the only group of people that know that would double their wealth is the billionaires among us. We might have new ones more, but the ones we have now will double. But the economy go up to $1 trillion. That's very ambitious. That's a good target.
All right.
Right now we are what? We are 400 and 500, right?
Hold on. Ovie, can you hear me? Hold on. You said the billionaires will double their wealth. Stay there. So if they double their wealth, is that through corrupt practices or through investment in the Nigerian space?
No. It's going to be through investment. You call it free market, but
that's the growth, isn't it? That's where the trillion is coming from. Yeah.
Yes, yes, but I don't know if it's going to go to $1 trillion. It's a very ambitious goal. I'm not going to lie, but if they end up getting us to 700, I will still give them a pass. I expect them. That's what I expect in 8 years, not in 4 years. In 8 years, if they can get to 700, I think we are between 400 to 500 billion right now. So if you can get us to 700, I will give him a pass. Then if the $1 trillion come, then well, kudos. But it's going to come from a very controlled investment, even though they call them you call them free market, right? It's very only people who get the money now go take advantage of what is coming or what is already here. So, and as we can already see now, it don't manifest from just a few one among us. So those ones now them go start to produce billionaire, right? I expect the $80 and the Elumelu to start say, oh, I produced 2-3 billionaires, right, within the so time. But that's the bragging that I want to see, and I will not be surprised that if at the end of Tinubu 8 years, if that's what is God gave him, I will not be surprised to be saying that. Say yes, and I mean under me, I get 2-3 billionaires, right?
Shall I tell you why I feel this is under ambitious? A lot of the things that Tinubu is doing is recalibrating our policy positionings within the Nigerian space. Is recalibrating the policy positions, and then he is also liberalizing the economy, and then he's making the economy market friendly for investors, and then he's floated the naira. So all of that, all of that are key points. So if you already saw it with $80 investing in with the African Bank coming in. So you see all of these big monies coming into big spaces within because Nigeria is the next.
Yes, but I agree with you, one man, but it's still what are their what is it? How is they've not tell us how this is going to actually how the middle class is going to benefit, how the ordinary, because we also have to improve the bargaining power of every Nigerian for you to actually get to that point that we are aiming, right? You can invest all you want if the security is not there for people to actually be confidence enough to say, okay, I want to come and tap into this power plant that this guy is bringing. How do I be a subcontractor to my village, to my social community, or to Kano, or to anybody? How do I do that if there's no security, right? So there's a lot that I also have to go hand in hand for that to happen. That's why I say it's a very it's an ambition. It's a big ambition here because we are not only the rich now are smiling, right? They are hopeful, renew hope. Their hope is being renewed. Only those who have the
but
investment power.
there will be new rich created as well.
Let's okay. One man, let's assume.
Hold on. I suspect we will be seeing the rebirthing of the middle class in Nigeria. You know, we don't have a middle. We will be seeing the rebirthing.
That would be the winning.
Yeah,
that would be the winning card for him. But now let's assume within the next 6 months, right? Let's say within the next 6 months, half of Nigeria we can say yes, they can be boast of maybe 20 hours of power. Not even the whole country now. Let's say half of Nigeria, some key state, Lagos, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, Kano, Ogun State.
Edo get power now.
Edo, so all those, let's say they can brag or say yes, 20 hours of power, right? Then we will begin to see that middle class we are talking about begin to say there's hope again. When we begin to, I mean, something has to be.
Okay, hold on a bit. So let's say let's use that 20-hour electricity example that you've just cited. If we had 20 hours electricity supply that is consistent and is reliable and predictable, how does that impact on the economy?
How does that impact on the economy?
And put a dollar figure to it as well. Yeah.
Okay, now the dollar figure to the general, how much you increase the GDP, or
yes,
is that what you are asking for?
Yes.
For over a period of 4 years?
No, over a 12-month period, a 12 to 24-month period.
Okay, let's say 12 to 24-month period. We have that 20 hours light. We have security. There's confidence now. I can decide to leave Lagos to go to Kano 2 a.m. in the morning and go to that places and like I don't have a fear that anything is going to happen to me. People can go to farm and actually farm. Now, that means even Lagos, just they use Lagos as an example, what will happen? The life will be back again, right? The nightlife will rejuvenate, the small business, the barber, everybody will be up and doing without necessarily saying, I don't get job. That's in Nigeria, I know. Thank God for internet, right? Youth will be busy again. Target could be more. Now, within the space of that 2 years, I expect our GDP, if we declare let's say we declare 400 billion as we are now, I would expect it to be about 5.5 to 6 billion within the next 2 years. If we get this, if the economy can be stable like that, power and security. With all this money that is coming in, like from the investors, right? Yes.
That's why I said it's a bit under ambitious. If they had that a predictable electricity and that is consistent and constant, I think that is the 1 trillion naira dollar mark right there. That's the 1 trillion, because you have more and more factories springing up in Nigeria, and then you have an export base propelling out of Nigeria. You already have a cheap labor force. So if you combine all of those and you have a mass of a population, if you combine all of those, that's already the $1 trillion right there, is it not?
Yeah, well, again, as I say, if they achieve, I'm fine, but it's I don't.
You don't say it.
It's just I don't know. This is just too much expectation. I don't want to be disappointed. I want to just be. Me, I follow them from back. I will celebrate every little achievement rather than expect so much. And because man, na power game, yeah, man. Because again, the focus now, how do we win our election? That's the focus. So who are they going to appease? They appease those that we have money to support them, not necessarily people who will vote for them. So that's where the greed come. And if those people are greedy individuals, right, they rather still to make their money because they know they will see come back again. So I factor all those things too. That's why I'm not expecting so much, right? They can be because so far the moves, everything is doing is the moves like seems to be very encouraging for the investors, right? For the investors. But with the people that we patronize, the investors are still waiting, are still being so how can they bridge that gap? So that's why I don't want to expect that much. But as I said, do they have the capacity if they really want to, if that is the focus, they can if they want to. Nigeria no be yes, the 200 million people is an asset. It's not it's not liability, it's an asset. If they really want to utilize
all right. Listen to this guy, and maybe he will infuse you with a bit of enthusiasm. Listen to this.
GDP and a whole lot of others. Is this attainable? We have, of course, with us Mr. Tilewa Adebajo, CEO of the CFJ Advisory Group, joining us to discuss further. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Rotus.
Good to have you to kick off the week. What do you make of those aspirational goals? What's the pathway to get us there?
Very lofty targets, you must say. The Policy Advisory Council consisted of Senator Tokunbo Abiru, who chaired it. Dr. Yemi Cardozo was also there. Sumailu Zubairu, I think the AFC CEO, and Dr. Doris Anite, and they used KPMG as consultants. So very detailed work they have done. So what remains now is the implementation.
Aha. And as far as the implementation is concerned, what pathway are we looking at? Is it fiscal, monetary policy? Which way are they going to take to get there?
Well, it's interesting how they've looked at it. And I think what they've done is that they've looked at how they're going to coordinate fiscal policy, monetary policy, industry, trade and investment.
Okay.
And then they're going to coordinate that with the capital markets. But what is interesting about this is that they actually has also set up a performance and delivery unit. And what they're saying is that they're going to make the performance and delivery unit a cabinet level position.
Okay.
So that basically the monitoring of this can also be very effective. And what they're also saying is that they're going to also have a body that is going to be chaired by the president, who is going to be the coordinating minister of the economy, to be able to coordinate all this, that will be chaired directly by the president. And they're trying to kick this off by giving the president some powers.
Yeah.
And what they're proposing is that they're going to pass an emergency economic reform bill to grant the president special powers to drive the economic reforms. So what's going to happen is that basically we're going to wait for this bill because they're looking to do a lot of landmark reforms to be able to drive this growth. So yes, and then of course fitting square pegs in square holes and round pegs in round holes is going to be very important.
How do you think on the fiscal side they can get that? Is that focusing, like Tayo Oyedele of PwC is a chair of a tax committee that was announced last week. On the fiscal side, what do you think needs to happen?
Well, that's fine. I think we're looking at what they're doing on the fiscal side. We know they have to look at the Oronsai report. We've seen all the things they're doing. And obviously with all these reforms, you need to set a lot of those subcommittees, which Mr. Oyedele is heading one of them. There are going to be several more of those sort of committees because you need to do the stakeholder engagement to get the feedback to be able to understand if these reforms can go through. Now, if you take a look at what has happened, PENCOM was set up, and I think Fola Adeola was the first chairman of PENCOM under the Obasanjo regime. And 20 years later, or less than 20 years later, we have a pension industry that has 15 trillion naira in assets. I think that's a very laudable achievement.
Yeah.
So they're thinking about taking out banking supervision out of the central bank and setting up a super regulator for the banking supervision, the capital markets, which includes SEC, insurance, and PENCOM. So while all this might seem things are good, there's a lot of legislation, so a lot of discussion still needs to go in about those sorts of reforms. But on the fiscal side, one of the things we've not been hearing much about is the fact that they're actually going to rationalize some assets.
Okay.
Probably some of the production sharing contracts are going to come down, sell some of those sort of assets to be able to raise money quickly. So that is also another plan. So they've documented the plan. So it's now a question of how they're going to implement it.
Great stuff. What about the monetary side? You've talked a lot about monetary policy in Nigeria. So what do you think needs to happen there?
Well, yes, they're going to have to resolve the ways and means.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to have to depend on ways and means till the end of the year when they put their budgets together. And we need to rationalize ways and means. That's going to be very important to be able to achieve the fiscal discipline. On the monetary side, it's actually a lot easier on the monetary side.
Okay.
Because the key challenge on the monetary side, which is the unification of the foreign exchange rates, has been done.
Right.
So now you have a single window. The Naira is finding its level. It's now a question of how to put in the stimuluses to increase the Naira supply. You have about $25 billion to $30 billion a year coming from diaspora remittances. Export proceeds now, people who have the export proceeds, no need to find other ways to bring it. They can bring it into the market. So you need to find ways to increase supply. So you could now, encourage the exporters because, they can bring in their foreign exchange. So that has happened significantly. So the challenge now with monetary policy is inflation because a lot of the subsidies.
All right. So does that imbue you with a bit more confidence, Obey?
Yes, but let me put it this way. Yes, because I think if there's anything so far, I see is painting a president that is interested in economy, not just interested in how the economy works, right? If we want to go by his accounting background and what have you, compared to other presidents that we have before, this man who are more focused on either the oil sector or how to be admired around the world, right? I'm talking about Obasanjo here. But I think we have a president, from what this man is saying, we have a president who understands the need to actually reposition the economy if all need to move to, head towards the permanent side. I see that, but he said something again that I think he might be the first president to be the chair of the Economic Council, according to what he's saying. But again, he followed that by saying that Bola Tinubu need to give him a little bit of power to able to push some things through, to able to actually declare something without necessarily going through the house. So, and if that is the case, I think so far there is on the right move by making sure his right hand man is in charge of the Senate. They pretty much have their way from party wise to his own personal ambition. So that means it's going to have a smooth.
Yeah, some of the things they said, because I've watched it in full, they want to uncouple some of the powers of the CBN, because the CBN is like the regulations of banking and all of those sort of things. They want to uncouple it from the CBN, and then they want to recalibrate totally the financial sector. So it's a total transformation that they're looking at.
Yes,
and
he says something. It's something there silent. He says something silent there, which is the insurance sector, right? Because I was wondering if he's going to run a credit economy, right? You have to your insurance has to be policy has to be very strong, especially at the same time when we're expecting people to bring money from overseas or from within. Your insurance policy has to be very strong. So I heard him mention that too, which is good. So, but if he can get all this power that he hopes to get as in charge, as an head of Economic Council, and at the same time can get all the amendment or whatever that need to go through the house, then that 1 trillion might be possible if that happens soon enough. Right. If everything is
well. He also said they are going to be relying on ways and means till the end of the year. So I thought ways and means had already been they tried to reconcile just before Buhari left. Ways and means is taking money from the central bank in the advanced thing that they will pay at some point in the future. So it's essentially printing money. So do you approve of that they should be resorting to ways and means, or should it be a belt tightening until the money comes in?
There have to be a better when the money comes in now. That's how you have to encourage celebrate prudency. If you make it easy for people to just come in and go with money like that, then there's no discipline, and before you know, they become entitled if it's not coming as as they expect to be. They became grudge. I think that's what kept him Emefiele there, is because I was wondering how he's able to start two different government, a PDP and APC, but he's still there. So is yes, if they go with that, that would be a step in the right direction. But again, all this now, these are sweet, yeah. Now lyrics, these are lyrics. Until I begin see action and I begin see the effect, then I will hop on the bandwagon.
If you do say you say they are lyrics, but on paper it sounds good. If they are able to implement all of these plans, is there the danger that Tinubu will come out of this the best president that Nigeria has ever had, and probably even the greatest African that has ever lived?
Guy, one man, I tell you, they overreach. Greatest Africa ever live. Go read about Mandela, the way they take carry that man, even though, anyway, that's it. But no, best president, I don't know, because the truth is that I don't think whatever Tinubu do now, it will still be better than the past administration. That is, if everything go well, all right, it will better than past administration. Automatically be better than the one before, which is about. Yes, I will rate him that. But again, before we can actually be giving that to other thing has to come to play too. I mean, the economy is doing fine if it's serving everybody fine, but there are other things too, because Obasanjo in a way actually did well because we are coming from military regime, but he ceded our part of our country way back as so that to me destroy his
Yeah,
whole.
you are still holding that against him. You know that was how you came on this platform all those years ago, fighting the Bakassi fight.
No, but how are you going to?
Are you still
How are
fighting the
you going
Bakassi?
to feel? How are you going to feel? You give your son 5-bedroom house, right? You go make it just manager for 8 years. You come back, the house don't turn to 4-bedroom. Are you going to be proud? That's exactly what happened. I go see that our land away. There are people. No, that's exactly what happened. So how can I forgive her for that? That's his number one job: protect our territory. And you're a military man, for God's sake. You should understand the territorial importance than any other person. Well, but that by the side, yes, if Tinubu, I mean, everybody is feeling it right now, right? So if he, even as small he do say, we will see president. But if he actually take this economy to 1 trillion, and guess what? And that idea of middle class can be visible to everybody, right? I know everybody cannot be lifted out of poverty, right? I don't even want to put millions numbers to it. If you can do it, in fact, make electricity okay. I think if you can even do that one, make electricity okay. Nigeria will rate you high above every other president, and I think anybody that will put that off, doesn't matter who passed the law. If Nigeria come to light 24/7 under Tinubu, already you will be the greatest president. So that too. For me, if this state, federal, and local government dichotomy, if it comes to say yes, so Tinubu make sure say he enforce am. Local government get their own fair share treatment, state and all that. What he fought for as a governor, if he can make that happen.
Sorry, okay. Did Buhari not already institute that in law before he left? You remember when Buhari was leaving, he signed a whole raft of bill, and
Yes.
one of the bills that he signed was to grant more autonomy to the local governments, and one of those autonomies was for their monies to come from the federal space rather than it going through the state government. So I think Buhari had already instituted
Yeah,
that.
so yes, if Tinubu administration can enforce it and Nigerians they see say yes, that is how things work out. I think for me, we stand as one of the greatest presidents. Yes, I will give him that title. But going to Africa, live it. I don't think he will ever top people that came before him, like Thomas Sankara, like Kwame
And
Nkrumah.
Thomas Sankara. He is living under fabled memory. Thomas Sankara. He somewhat reminds me of Muritala Mohammed. He was there for a very short period of time. He did a couple of good things, and people.
Yeah, but he made the ultimate sacrifice. I think that's what it is. He died like he died in the field of war. Yes,
you mean Sankara? Yes.
He sacrificed. I mean, nobody waiting made Jesus Christ special with that. Say he died for our sin. That's what that man did. So I think that's what's standing my part. So when we Nkrumah to liberation and all that. So yes, to be on that African level, I mean, he's going to, if he can liberate the West African, if he can liberate the West Africa as a whole, as he promised in Burkina Faso, and he makes it, maybe that will push him to that end. If I don't know, to be, for him to put in among the great in Africa, that's he's just gone beyond taking Nigeria out of poverty. I think it's beyond that at this point. The bar has been set too high because of the globalization that is going on. So you have to do more than just in Nigeria. You have to do more than just winning Nigerians. Then for the whole Africa to, the Africans are to, other African countries are to actually feel it. And what are those policies that you can actually push or support for you to be named among the African greats? If you can push the unification of African currency, one, I think that will push you a little bit, but that means you are putting your life on the line too.
You know Nigeria. You know Nigeria is not backing that. Not so much an African currency, but a West African currency, the ECO. You know Nigeria is not backing it, and if Nigeria doesn't back it, then it has no meaning.
Yes, I think the friends are very influential in that area. They don't think they are going to be the biggest loser if they allow that happen. So they are doing everything they can. I think that's what a lot of people are concerned about when they see the romance between Bola Tinubu and his French counterpart. People are kind of worried because those guys' influence, in a way, is responsible why the currency is not moving as swift as they want it to be. I'm not gonna blame them too. They are all fighting for their own survival too. So it all depends.
Right.
So if Tinubu can actually even bring that one into fruition, let me forget about the Africans. Like, do that, as I said, within the African nation. If you can stop especially all this killing that is going to be only Nigeria, they get the brunt. If you can improve that, if you take the Nigeria economy to 1 trillion and other neighboring countries actually feel the effect, yes, maybe his name will be louder than across the continent than it is now. He has the chance anyway. I think every president has a chance to be the greatest. It just depends on how you.
All right, thank you, Ovie. So, Ovie, I want to try and cap it under 3 hours today. I've got something in the morning, and curiously, I can't seem to get going with the session. I don't know if you understand that. I can't seem to get going. So let me just cap it rather than label it. Yeah, so I'm going to cap it under 3 hours. Good to see you, Ovie, and good to meet you, Okweton TV. Just a bit of housekeeping. Okweton TV with a super sticker. Thank you. And he goes with a super chat as well. So thank you. Ayo, of course, rattles off as he always does. So that's Ayo, who holds an AK-47 to that space. The majestic Alexander Gomez, as you always have that expectation. And when the session starts, Ayo, usually with a handsome welcome. So thank you for all of those. So thank you, everybody. And apologies, by the way. I know you are used to a long winding session, but today we cap it in a nice, tidy, under 3 hours space. Thomas not available to do the after hours. So we'll recalibrate tomorrow, re-energize, and go long. So I'll leave it here. Carry conversation on within the comment section, but here I say peace. Thank you, everyone.